You're watching Suckprofessor. Hello, everybody. It's me, Hank. I'm joined by...
Worried James.
Worried James. What's he worried about? There's only one way to find out. Season 3 of Westworld will be about James. Is he real? Well, does he know what planet he's at? What, is it now? Is he a robot? Is he Dolores? Does he have a... What kind of... Do robots have like a third genital? Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks for finding our channel, clicking on subscribe and linking and liking. This is horrible. Westworld Season 2, Episode 10. The finale. It's over.
The finale, yes.
Finale.
What was the name of this episode?
The Passenger.
Yes, it was.
It was. That's right. This is also the same name of Spirit Airlines.
Right, and the overall name of the season, Season 2, was The Door.
The Door, yeah, but you found that in a Wikipedia reference or
yes,
something?
I should have known that much earlier, but I just learned it today.
Who calls a season a name? I've never heard of a named season.
Apparently that's the overall overarching theme of Season 2, which after having seen the entirety of Season 2, I agree. It is all about The Door.
Yeah, they all leads up to this big final thing here at The Door. But we were on our podcast on the Patreon, we were talking about stuff, and we were looking things up, and you found a thing about The
just
Door.
today I learned
was,
that.
Yeah, that was peculiar. I've never heard of a season having a name. It's interesting, kind of like a
how
collection of
artsy
books.
this is.
It is, man. I mean, come on, isn't it hard enough to name everything else? So yeah, we're gonna have tons of screenshots for everybody. We got tons of spoilers. I'm saying this for the new people. It's kind of like a podcast with pictures, so we'll kind of go off track here, maybe a little bit there, but we try to stay focused. We're not Westworld experts. We're just our opinion experts. We're bullshitters.
And normally I come away after...
We're not bullshit. I think what I say is bullshit. I'm not trying to accuse you of being a...
No.
Yeah. All right.
But usually after an episode airs, I'm usually 60 to 70% confident about an episode. This episode, I'm about 20% because I was drinking a bit. I got a lot in my mind because I got a big, epic day at work tomorrow. And I'm trying to focus as much on this episode, but I feel like there's a lot of nuances that I probably didn't absorb the way I needed to.
That's okay.
So I'm a little worried. And that's why I say Worried James.
Well, that's why God invented follow-up videos.
Yeah.
We'll do something later maybe to keep people's attention. But actually, that's something real quick. If you guys want to skip ahead, follow the timer, and jump ahead to the proper point, I just wanted to say a couple words about their channel and check in with people. First, thank you for finding us. Thanks for clicking. Anybody who's written a comment or subscribed or liked or just watched it or even just gave it a passing glance and then moved on to some other click. Thank you. It's actually weird running a YouTube channel. I'm not sure why I do this or why we do this or what we're actually ultimately going for. I mean, I think I'm satisfying some terrible void of, validation that I was deprived at some point earlier that I'm going to spend the rest of my life struggling to fulfill. But aside from that, it's fun. It's fun to do this stuff and make videos and kind of interact with people and see what people think and put our opinions out there. So I just want to say thank you. It's been a treat and a journey and a privilege and an honor. And now we both must drink this poison Kool-Aid. I'm acting like we're dying. It's just the
I
end
feel
of
like I'm dying.
I know. People say that a lot when I talk. But I just about subscribing for those of you that are like just Westworld fans that are only interested in that and you're about to unsubscribe after this is over. Totally get it. Please, say nice things to your friends. I don't know, but I understand why people would subscribe or not. But for those of you that it doesn't really matter if you stay subscribed or not, because some people pay more attention. Their subscription feed is more with how they interact with YouTube than not. And some people don't really give a shit about it. If you don't mind, stay subscribed. It's a big help. It's a way to just passively help out a channel if we've ever offered you something to enjoy. We would appreciate you staying subscribed. Because YouTube works on a rich get richer kind of algorithm. So the more numbers we have, both in comments and likes and subscriptions and everything else, the more YouTube places us in search results. So that helps us. So it's literally a material benefit to us. So please stay subscribed if you can. And if you don't want to, that's fine. And I'll probably put up some stupid video and it's going to be weird and annoying. And then you can unsubscribe then too. That's fine.
How does rich get richer help us when we're poor?
Well, that's the struggle, isn't it? It doesn't help. That's the whole point of Rich Get Richer is that poor people stay poor. That's why that system doesn't work. But anyway, that's all I was want to say. So thanks for everybody's attention and your time and your energy and your everything else. So check our Patreon out. We do more podcasting there. It's a great way to support. I'm also getting ready to restart my old podcast, Winners and Losers, which is on iTunes. So that'll be probably more political and news and topical, I think, in general. But yeah, there's 120 episodes already up that I recorded about 4 years ago from when I started out doing stand-up comedy. Well, slow down. I started the podcast in 2010, and I did it for about 4 years before I moved to LA 4 years ago. Okay, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So it's been around a while.
Basically,
and
you've got a bunch of episodes banked that you're going to start uploading where you ran about Dukakis.
Yeah, it's mostly me just bitching about, goddamn Democrats, why don't they fight harder? Jimmy Carter, I hate you! Gerald Ford, you and your... no, it's not, yeah, whatever. I haven't even done a new episode yet. It's all old shit right now. But I'm getting rebooted because I'm one of those jagoffs that loves to hear his voice and talk a lot, and I just want to do podcasting and stuff.
I cringe and recoil at the sound of my own voice.
Well, I shouldn't. I don't love my voice. I surprisingly don't hate my voice when I hear it, but it doesn't make me cringe like you might think. But
like
no,
I prefer nails
I'm saying
and a
I love my
chalkboard to my own voice.
Sure, yeah, I get that. I love my voice. Because I'm a self-obsessed asshole, not because like I actually like the tone or something like that. Yeah, I could have a worse voice. I've heard worse voices.
You could have a what's her name?
My brother's voice sounds like shit. No, I'm just joking around.
What's the name of that? Michelle Wolf, is it?
Yeah, the
my good lord, her voice.
She's got a very specific tone.
Well, she makes fun of it, but it still doesn't compensate for the fact that it is grating. Like, oh.
Yeah, I get you.
Fran Drescher has lost her standing as the world's worst voice.
I agree. Yeah, her and that other hot chick, SpongeBob SquarePants. Yeah, that's all. We're gonna start now. By the way, what kind of beer? Do you have some good beers?
I had a bunch of Nitro Milk Stout.
Milk Stout.
Yeah, it's a surprise. It's too good. I had a bunch of double IPAs and a bunch of Milk Stouts, and I am gonna pay for it in the morning.
Well, but let's make sure we don't make this one last 4 hours like last one.
Oh, please.
No massive emotional heavy lifting with this one for either of us or anybody. We're gonna keep it on Westworld with the occasional tangent to talk about something, armpits or some other thing that's gross. So that's
we need a lot of help on this one.
Don't worry. When have I ever been bad with details? Let's do it. Here we go. All right. Here, opening shot. Okay. Dark screen, and we hear Bernard. Is this now? And so immediately I'm upset because I get so confused in these interviews now that we don't know who anybody is, and one person could be a robot, the other person could be a robot. They could both be people. They could both be, Dr. Ford, for all I fucking know.
In the past episodes, we've come to learn that this is apparently Dolores speaking to an iteration of Arnold. The Arnold that she has created and formulated from her memories in I don't want to say the Forge, because it's not the Forge, it's the Cradle.
Yeah.
Where she was doing her own fidelity tests on him in order to bring him back to life at the behest of Ford.
Yes.
So everything that happens in this scene tells me that this is an extension of that particular experience, but the fact that this is the season finale tells me, or makes me paranoid, that there's a twist to it. That there's something else. Perhaps this is not Dolores the host, maybe this is the original Dolores, or maybe this is happening in the future.
Do you think
after the events of things have come to pass?
Do you think I look pretty, Bernard?
Yeah.
I've always wanted a female body of a young 20-something actress.
Yeah, when I see something like this, especially in a season finale, I know what they want me to think, but I don't really know what to believe in truth.
Yes, I agree.
So it messes with my head. So even when I know the answer, it still screws with my head.
Right. You got me all twisted up here. I was assuming Dolores knows what's going on in this scene, right?
Well, Dolores does, yes.
Because she's interviewing him with a lot of command. She's
right.
She's sort of, and she explains that that all these different copies of Bernard kept having mistakes, and the thing that they really seem to be hitting on a lot is this whole using memories to create a person.
Right.
That's only been kind of put into the Westworld consciousness for the last 3 episodes or so, or 4 episodes.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem very effective.
Well, Arnold was a special case because he was the one who spent hours upon hours upon hours basically drilling Dolores in this digital world and in the real world.
Great choice of words.
He would. He's a married man.
I couldn't think that.
But he basically was interrogating her to understand the basics of her cognitive ability. And in doing so, he was not only learning about her, but in doing so, she was learning about him.
Yeah.
So she was imprinting his personality in her own core code during each one of these interactions.
Right.
So who better to basically recreate Arnold from pure memories than the combination of both Ford and Dolores? And this is what she's doing. She's basically created him, and now she's testing him for fidelity on what it says right here, trial 11,927. So they ran this scenario many times.
But that doesn't mean there were 11,927 Bernards, because they would redo the trials of the same guy until they dropped him on his head or something.
Yeah, this is, I believe this is in the Cradle, so it's a digital reconfiguration, so they don't need to flamethrower kill him every single time. This is simply a software reset after each attempt.
Yeah, here's the sound of him being killed. Oh shit! I mean, actually delete it. I did literally. I pressed the delete button. Yeah, you're right. This is in the cradle because of the aspect ratio there. So,
oh, good call.
Doesn't have
absolutely.
the risk and stuff. Nice watch. Check that out, James. I've never been a watch guy.
I used to be when I was in elementary school. And then I realized that there was watches all over the walls.
Oh yeah, exactly. They put one on the wall.
Didn't need them.
And they have them on the phones now.
Yeah. So why should my wrist be uncomfortable when I can just look anywhere and get that same information?
I think I'll become a watch person when I have money to just piss away, which is probably never. And then it's like, oh, look at my strong arm. Do you like my watch? It's just a strange thing you're trying to. Okay. Yeah. So what do you make of this opening scene? Though we're all good. I think we said enough here.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like it could be more complex than they're presenting it, but I was somewhat okay on it.
It set the tone that Dolores is like fully now sort of elevated her status above his.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I mean that's been established for a couple episodes.
He's a very important guy in the whole world, obviously, for lots of reasons. But like he keeps. It's almost like the more his story makes more sense to him, the less status he's able to carry. I don't know if that makes any sense. That doesn't make sense. I don't know.
He's definitely less of a mystical figure as he was back when we were trying to figure out who Arnold was and what the motivations of Arnold and the relationship with Dr. Ford was. He's a much weaker character in that sense. He doesn't hold the same power and allure that he once did.
We haven't really seen his creation though. Like they've shown Dolores sitting on that one table where she's mostly like carbon fiber robot with just like the chest and the arm or the head.
When you say his creation, you mean his genesis, not his own personal, what things that he has created.
Converting Arnold from original flesh Arnold to robot Arnold Bernard.
Yeah, so you mean like his rebirth is what you're referencing as his original awakening in robotic form.
Yes, but I think you could make the case that his awakening occurred much later after 11,927 trials.
Right. Okay.
Like he was less conscious the first time he woke up than the last.
Yeah.
Time.
What you're saying is we've never seen him sitting up from a table in his original old school framework robotic mode.
Boot up and the story up to that moment because that was really early in their robot days when when they were teaching them how to square dance.
We did get to see him boot up for the first time on a table when he's with Ford, a young Dr. Ford, I believe it was.
Oh, did we? Okay.
And he says something like "Welcome Bernard" or "Welcome Arnold" or something like that, where it was the first time he actually had opened his eyes and put his glasses on and so forth. So we did get treated to that.
All right. I was seeing that moment. I'm more getting at the storyline, and I'm saying that because I think that'll be part of season 3. That's the only good thing I was trying to get to.
Okay, all right, let's go. I don't think there's going to be a season 3, but
hasn't it been renewed? I thought I heard it.
It could have been. If it has, I don't know, but it doesn't seem likely. I don't know where I guess the answer is I don't know where they're going to go with it if there is.
Well, there's plenty of places to go. They're running the multiple. They're the new creators. They're lords of their own creation. They could start torturing their own people like our God does.
We'll get that more in the end.
Maybe they'll be like, oh, you know what? We're bored with this heaven place. Let's make cancer.
Let's not spill too much.
All right, fair enough. Next scene. This is how slow this shit goes. Sorry, guys. A nice helicopter shot of the car thing heading towards the spikies. We've been seeing lots of these spikies in the distance. We're finally getting a nice close-up shot of them.
So OJ is heading off in his Bronco. I love that.
Well, I like the Bronco part of that. But
he's a killer.
He is a killer. He is a killer. Plus,
and he's on the run.
Plus, he ran a tight 40 for the USC native cats. What do they call them? Wild cats.
Yeah, something like that.
Domestic cats. We gotta calm down. Start change some of these wild cats out there to domestic cats. Because they're still vicious. They just they're lazier.
So he has just left Elsie. He had zip tied himself to the wheel and then said he had to go off and do something.
But he cut that before he drove off.
Well, but he's basically going off to take care of a goal that he needs to accomplish at the forge.
Yeah. Or he's doing Uber and he's like, oh crap, this is gonna be a long one. No. And he walks off.
This is the weird shot though because it shows him in this weird dramatic shot from a distance. And it shows just how far he is from what we perceive to be the valley beyond. It's like, why would he stop here and walk the rest of the way? Why wouldn't he continue driving? Is it just for the sake of the cool shot?
Probably. I don't know. He's a robot. Robots, they stick to the map.
Yeah, but in this particular shot, you see him there, and then look at the distance between him and that ridge.
Yeah, that's a long way to go. You could trip on a lot of rocks and cracks and get bit by a snake.
And more to the point, though,
moment with a Gila monster.
Now, can you go back to the part where he's at the car?
Yeah, sure, right there.
Yeah. He puts on his jacket. Next shot.
He's dressed like Han Solo from the
next shot.
Wait, okay, I'm trying to. All right.
Oh, you're going back.
I like this in charge James. This is fun.
But he's got his coat on. Where's the car in this shot? How long has he been walking? Because you don't see it behind him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I try not to overdo the screenshots, although I did take 1100 this time, which is way too much. Fuck. You're right. Yeah, I mean.
So you can surmise he's been walking for a long time at this point.
Or the car's right off the edge of the frame.
No, actually, if you go forward another shot, and then another one, and then one... Actually, right there. That's a pretty far away back. It's a wide shot. I don't see a car.
Look, you got him standing there. And you go, distance.
So no car anywhere in sight.
No car in sight. No, I don't think. I think this is a tracking shot that was flying towards him. I'm not too worried about the missing car. I think it's just out of frame mostly.
Well, it just means that he's been walking a little ways.
He's been hauling butt, and there's actually more evidence of the long walk later in the episode. So yeah, there you go, nice and tight. Okay, now we got a cute little couple, and then you notice that it's not. There's actually a suicide scene here with a robot who killed himself because his girlfriend was expecting a lot. I'm not sure why he actually ended it. He could have just gone home, right? Go back to being a cowboy, be a handsome gun guy.
Not really, because he was forced to become something that he wasn't. He was forced to commit atrocious acts that were against his core programming. Yeah. That once he was able to interface with the Lakota Indian.
Same with me and my communion.
I mean, people don't seem to agree with me, but I choose to believe that Maeve was able to override the changes that Dolores made to him through his interaction with the Lakota. And I say Lakota because that's the language they speak. Maybe I'll just say Ghost Nation.
No one thinks you're...
Well, yeah.
Call him Lakota Nation.
But it seems as though he stayed his hand when he exchanged a glance with the Ghost Nation warrior. Yeah. So at that point, he couldn't live with himself anymore, and he was able, for the first time in a long time, to make a choice on his own, to make something of true free will, and in doing so, he chose to end his existence, the existence that Dolores had created for him, not the one that he wanted for himself.
Yeah, sure. Like, first time I drove a car, I was like, fuck you, Dad, and I shot myself in the head.
Yes.
I wanted to show my free will. But I wanted to point out, they are wrapped up like two people with intense connections, the way Maeve and her daughter were in that one scene. Remember when they're on the maze, like that? Yeah, exactly. No, I have no idea.
But it does show
this is how people cuddle.
Yeah.
You know?
Despite how cold she appears, despite how we always kind of surmise that she would bring about his end, that she would potentially kill him, this shows that despite all of that, she did truly care for him. She has true emotions for Teddy. Yeah,
she definitely has emotions and mixed feelings for him. And also, this is a great illustration of how when you do the big spoon, little spoon, or as I like to call it, big spoon in milk, the the big spoon, has a hard time with their arm. There's always an arm in the way. We need detachable cuddling arms that can just pop off, then you cuddle with the top arm, or move one arm to the other side, so you're like Goro. Then you can cuddle with two hands. One can control the remote, one can feed popcorn or cheese popcorn to your lover. We could improve the cuddling system in this nation. And that's why I'm running for president. The president of cuddling.
So the main question is,
I have big, strong arms, by the way.
Why do we have five...
Ladies?
Why do we have 5 screenshots of them cuddling?
Because I was zooming in. Like this. Or zooming out. You like it, do you?
You really like this scene.
I like the camera work. I like to look for static shots, although this wasn't that. But sometimes these, like, sort of more... yeah, these are fun. Yeah.
No wonder we have 1,000.
Yeah, they're all bullshit screenshots like this. It's great. Look at that. Look at them. 2 people there, and she kisses his shoulder there and goes, mwah, mwah.
She's just sucking the blood off of him.
No, she found a bug. Oh, a bug.
All right, we gotta keep moving.
Yeah, sorry. Robots should run on bugs. You know how, like, the car in that Back to the Future movie runs on bananas?
The DeLorean, yes.
Yeah, DeLorean. Oh my God.
Delorious.
A time-traveling, beloved character that everybody wants to get inside. DeLorean.
Wow. Her plot moves at 88 miles per hour.
Can you like to play with her flux capacitor? You know what I'm saying, James?
You want to see her Mr. Fusion?
I'd like to have intercourse.
No.
No, I know. That's inappropriate. I mean, we're saying this in jest, okay, guys? Hashtag resistance. All right.
Resistance.
So, anyway, this is a sad day. You know, tough times. Her boyfriend killed himself, and she's got to go murder an entire planet. But
she's got to go back to Tinder now.
Yeah, she's got to go back to swiping right, or left, or up. I don't know. If you swipe up, it's for heaven. Why isn't there a Christian dating app? It's like swipe up, and
I'm sure it's called eHarmony.
Then you get a text from God, and it says like his penis, but it's just average because he's God. It'd be rude. No,
it's just like pure glowing. You can't even tell what it is.
It'd be rude if he had a big dick. God has to be a median. You know, 5.5 with scar on the side. You know, because you know sometimes there was an angry. Some of the angels get angry or something. I don't know. But she discovers his brain. I didn't realize that there was a hole big enough to pop out his head.
So she either stuck her fingers into the bullet hole and ripped it apart like some sort of orangutan opening up a coconut that has like a drill bit hole in it, which is horrific to think about, but she actually cracked his head open far enough to open and extract his control unit, and it gives us the ability of knowing that this is not simply her father's, Abernathy's control unit that she's also carrying with her, but it's his because it has the bullet imprinted against itself. The deformed bullet that he shot himself in the head.
Yeah, so his aim was true. He nailed his own control unit. I don't know why those things make me think of.
Which shows that his ability, his core personality, his actual core is intact, which is good.
Well, it did get shot. I mean,
well, the outside of it did, but we know what's inside is the actual ball that controls your actual being.
Oh, so we assume there's no damage to that.
Yes, no damage, because you can see it did not penetrate his control unit.
But the impact, it's like...
Well, you can see how it kind of scraped the outside of the control unit right there. There's 3 lines right there. When she takes the bullet away, you can see...
Yeah. These...
Like, those indentations right there.
I see what you're saying. I'm just saying there's a chance that this... inside the control unit it needs to be tested before they put it back into a different guy.
Well,
that's all my point is.
By the end of the episode,
it might have chronic traumatic encephalopathy.
Yeah, but by the end of the episode, it does reveal that he's okay.
Oh yeah, so we see it.
Yes.
Okay, well that's perfect. That's the kind of evidence I like to hear about. But yeah, the bullet is all smushed up, so she keeps it. But we assume she keeps the brain too. It'd be funny if she just like whipped it on the roof. I like throwing stuff on roofs, but I never do. I've never done it. Maybe when I was a kid once or twice. But
it's easy to do in Los Angeles where the roofs are basically flat because there's no snowfall, there's very little rainfall. Yeah, you can do that. You do that on the East Coast, it's going to collapse in one season.
Motherfuckers, you bitches in Vermont. We got a higher percentage of flat roofs per capita in LA, motherfuckers. Suck it, steep roof states. What if that's the thing?
You just started the war.
Vermont's like, hey, everybody, he goes, get on your snowshoes. We gotta let's go get them. All right, I love Vermont, by the way. There's nothing but great things going on in Vermont. Everybody calm down. Horsies, I like it. She's riding a horse. It's fun. Even the horse gets to wear a dress. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I was about to say, it looks like there's a rug on the horse.
Yeah, I like it. She jumped on from behind. She went running up, and I've always thought that was
she's
like
a caterpillar.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, she's just emerging. Kind of does have a bit of a centaur sort
of
thing.
Like a cilia feel, or what do you call those things? Those little cilia, those little thread-like legs.
Yeah, that propelled paramecium through the slurry. Cilia. Yep, my proctologist points them out all the time. So look at her. She's going, I'm Dolores. So she comes up on a guy who he turns out to be Man in Black, which is obvious.
Now, this is the particular scene that I wanted more clarity on than anything else. This was the one that puzzled me from the last episode. I was thinking that the fact that the Man in Black, William, was able to survive with such tenacity is that he potentially had enhanced himself with artificial parts such that he realized that James Delos was a failure because you cannot insert a human mind into an artificial host, but he probably learned from that mayhaps he could take the technology that he learned and infuse his mortal being with artificial parts to enhance his being. And it seems as though he's digging in his arm in a part where Bernard typically looks for the upload pattern or the upload connector to his own pad.
The USB port. Yeah.
So that's what I thought was going to happen, and that's what I thought we were going to get more answers on, but it turns out that maybe he's just severed his link with reality. Maybe he's just kind of losing his mind after realizing that he just killed his daughter and that Dr. Ford was not the one in charge of him pulling that trigger.
So you're saying that it's, and I agree, that it's possible that this is him being suspicious and he's wrong. Going like, oh, it might be a robot, and because he knows that that's where they put the thing, and so he's digging through that. How about just go have your brain checked at a CAT scan? Not that they have a CAT scan clinic.
Well, I mean, the thing is that they did scan him before this point, and they said clear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, go to a different one. Get a second opinion.
Well, he doesn't really have the ability to get a second opinion at this point.
Not here.
It seems as though he's kind of, his mind has been fractured at this point, that he's doing things that are now irrational, that are paranoid, that he's desperate to find evidence that maybe he's not human, which would absolve him of the guilt of having killed his own daughter.
I like that. Yeah, very good. Excellent. Well done. Wow, good job. I can't add to that. Well done. So anyway, she pulls out her gun and yeah, that's right. So she does this thing with this bullet. She kind of takes it out of her little satchel, puts it in the they imply that she, well, not imply, but they show her inserted into the gun somehow. They cut away right before though, so it's not quite obvious exactly what. We're like,
yeah.
I mean, we're like, that's not gonna. You can't just put a flat bullet in a. There's no.
Yeah, it's going to cause a misfire.
We couldn't even get it in there first of all, but it's the bullet has the powder, the cartridge, and the bullet itself. And
yeah, because the flint has to strike the back of the bullet to create an ignition force to ignite the powder to propel the projectile forward.
Yeah, or the pin.
Yeah,
the firing pin.
And in this case, there's none of that going on. And bear in mind, I know nothing about guns or bullets. I just know the basic chemistry of what happens when you pull the trigger.
Yeah. We've all watched Mr. Rogers. We know how guns work. So they don't show her inserted into one of the bullet hole thingies. So it's implied, but she does something to the gun. So we're not. And then she gives it over to him. Cocks the revolver. No, sorry. She uses it first, but she threatens him with it, I guess. And
she mocks him a little bit, saying that the same question that's been posed to her many, many, many times. She's saying you question the reality of your own, the nature of your own reality, as though questioning his own humanity by digging in his arm and looking for something that's inherent to a host body.
But how does anything look crazy to people in this world? Nothing would appear to be out of normal because everything in the park is designed to be abnormal. You get what I'm saying? She wouldn't know what insane looks like because all she's ever exposed to is just murder and mayhem and chaos. It's like she's been playing video games since the 80s like me. All right, so then there's this guy here. That's Ed Harris again. I'm so bad at that.
But the man who should be dead.
The man in the ground, 6 feet under. He's clearly, though, worked up about the loss in his life, and he's just murdered his daughter.
Yeah, he's not being very open about it, but he's in very vague terms. He's referencing driving someone away.
Yeah.
And then Dolores references Emily, which answers a question I had beforehand. It's like, well, is Emily truly dead? If he can survive a shot to the chest, why, in theory, can Emily not survive, given the fact that she's right next to a med kit and she's the one who patched him up? Perhaps she could do the same for herself and save herself, but it seems that Dolores has confirmed that Emily is, in fact, dead.
Seems to be dead. I mean, you know, who knows? There might be some. But I was sort of surprised that Emily's fate was this. I kind of... Not that I had any good reason to expect this, and I think I said this on the podcast, but like they kind of introduced her as a starring kind of character, or like a late entry star. And I sort of assumed that she might take on more prominent roles here. She obviously served a large, important function because she's the Man in Black's daughter, and she triggered him to get to this state of his journey.
Yeah, she was essentially a transitionary catalyst.
Yeah, right. Like in chemistry, you know, when you transition catalysts.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, they have some common cause. They're like, oh, we're both kind of murderers and crazy, and we're both trying to get a similar goal here. So they decide to team up for a little while, just until they could no longer make sense to do so. Is that what you just say? That sounds about right?
Do you think he chose to be the Man in Black and knew he was going to get shot a lot, and Black hides blood?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
If he was the Man in White, he'd be a mess.
No, he would look like a painter. He'd be horrible. Who specializes in red.
He looked like a ragu pastry chef.
Yes, exactly. The bad
Chef
ones.
Boyardee after being drunk.
Chef Boyard dumbass, because they take Chef Boyardee. He's the star. He's the hottie. They put him on the cover because he's so attractive.
So essentially what's happening here is that Dolores is basically acknowledging the fact that she is now teddyless. She has no strong arm with her. She needs help to get to the Valley Beyond. So she needs a strong arm, even though he's riddled with bullets.
Yes.
He is better than nothing.
She needs a strong arm, so she found herself one working leg. That's all she's got out of this guy.
I mean, you take what you can get.
You take what you can get. That's right. That's that should be the only sentence on my OK Cupid profile. Hey, ladies, it's just going to get worse if you don't date me. I mean, well, probably it could get bad that way, too. Oh, sorry, James. Sorry. All right, yeah. So they team up. She gives him the gun, though. This is her handing the gun over. She's like, "Here you go, take a gun." And he's like, "Oh, really?"
It seems like she's basically giving control over to him, but she does it for a very deliberate reason, which we'll find out soon.
Yeah, totally.
Which we kind of already know.
Yeah, got it. Yep. By the way, I don't have the confidence to online date or offline, really. Not even that. I can go to restaurants. All right, there they go. Beautiful shots in this episode. I thought the cinema photography was quite inspired. I enjoyed the scenery. It's like looking at postcards. You know, who doesn't love looking at stuff? Speaking of postcards, we're getting close to the spiky bits here.
Yep, Bernard is still heading towards that ridge.
Bernard is still wondering where his car disappeared. And off he goes. It's getting closer, though. Actually, the music in this sequence, I don't remember it exactly, but I remember liking it. I remember thinking, this is kind of cool. I like the choices they're making in here. So then when we see this caravan of people walking, what do you call a long line? A host?
I would say it's a big, almost like a pilgrimage or an exodus.
An Exodus. There
something along those lines.
It has very biblical qualities.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
this,
Where
right?
it's basically like all the hosts doing their holy pilgrimage to the promised land, almost.
Yeah, walking through the desert in 40 parsecs.
Yeah,
in 40
parse
nights.
No, but it kind of is reminiscent of what's the things like the pilgrimage to Mecca or the Jerusalem, like the Crusades, where all the Christians. Where the Christians, where the Christians were basically traveling through the Crusades, and they were robbed and murdered and everything along the trail to get there. But
the Egyptian desert or something, right? And then Moses came by and he's like, "Hey, everybody, I can make the river pause." And then they ran back to
and that's where the word "mosey on" this way comes from, because he's like, "Follow Mosey man."
Yeah, and they're like, "Which one's he?" And he's like, "He's the one that's just moseying around." And yeah. So they got it that way, and then they all became Christian, and they turned the Middle East into what is today the theme park that everybody likes to go to. So that's a summary of religion, everybody. Yep.
The games are rigged there, though, just so you know.
Games, and it's permadeath.
Yeah,
for everybody. All right. So anyway, then we see part of the group here walking. We see Maeve and
fake mother Maeve.
Well, Doppel Maeve.
Double Maeve, yes. Maeve's daughter and the new
mom.
Yeah, the new mom.
Yeah. Would you let your mom get replaced by a robot lady who was similar?
If she looked like that, yes.
Yeah, me too. I'd be like, hell yeah, finally a hot mom. I've always wanted one. No, I don't have. God's been listening to my prayers. Okay, so but just the Coda guys are mixed in with the spiky bits. It's always fun. Oh, look at the dust on the left there, James.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, I'm glad you captured that.
Wow, I really caught it. This is a GIF. GIF or GIF?
GIF. I mean, personally, my preference would be that it's GIF, but the person who actually invented the GIF says it's pronounced GIF, like the peanut butter. So I have to give it to the man who actually invented it. But if it were up to me, it'd be GIF.
That's why I only call that one author George R. Martin.
Yeah.
Get it? 2 hours.
Yes. So this is a shot from the trailer where we're surmising that it appears that Clementine was being chased by these vehicles.
That's what we all thought.
Now we know she's not being chased. She is simply an outbreak monkey. She is carrying a virus, and they are following her to the valley beyond so she can infect those who are fleeing to that land.
Yes. I don't know why they didn't throw her and a horse on the top of the car, or maybe put her in a chair. And it's like fucking strap that. Why did they do the horse? Just drive her up there. Launch her in a cannon.
Could have been like Mad Max Fury Road, where you attach her to the front of the vehicle and just drive through.
And give her a guitar. Guitars make cars go faster, man. Come on. But no, it was interesting that they're following her, and she's sort of this is Hale. She's like, get going, come on, we gotta hurry up. So they're all at this big race here, and then we are returned to the mesa here, where there's some smoke billowing. This is not good. The walls are all fucked up. See how it's all scratched and shit, like an old.
I like
building.
how the windows are carved in the stone, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, they are carved, aren't they? Why aren't there like smiley faces? Don't these people have any character? Come on, make your cubicle yours. That makes it easier to be oppressed for your entire life.
So Bonesaw.
Bonesaws have a great sound. Just a shout out to the Bonesaw. Friday Night Lights, when they're sawing that guy's helmet off. First episode, first 2 minutes.
Never saw that.
It's been around a long time. It's just a very powerful, because the force of that noise comes with risk, because it's chopping someone's freaking skull apart. Yep. Which takes a lot of balls. I get nervous when I'm cutting up chicken.
If you're not on a medical staff and you're hearing that sound, you're in trouble.
That's a good point. Yeah. That's one of those sounds you don't want to hear. Yeah, for sure. And if you do hear it, they haven't given you enough anesthetic.
Which is why, that's what I mean. That's why you should be worried.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true. It'd be weird if they just like at the meeting before the guy just like started spinning the saws around. Hey, tomorrow during surgery. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm having fun, so I start thinking of stuff when I'm feeling okay. All right. So all right. So whatever. Now we're with this guy doing the work on Maeve here, right?
Yeah.
And
so this guy kind of reveals himself to be more of a piece of crap than we initially gave him credit to be, because he says there's no pleasure without pain, darling. Yeah. Or no, he didn't say darling.
He said darling in this one here.
Okay. Yeah, because that's kind of Maeve's thing. So it was almost like he's mocking her with that. So he turns her pain receptors back on before he plans to saw into her head. Yeah. Which is like pain threshold right there. You can see it's at max, and he reduces it down to nothing.
Yeah. What does that say? Fidelity? Preb? Something.
100%.
It doesn't matter. Pain threshold max. So yeah, he drops it, and now we're all going, "Oh no, Maeve's gonna be in pain!" And then she starts. I mean, come on, this is Pain City right here. Look at this thing. I mean, this looks like it hurts anywhere in there. even near it. So she starts going, oh shit, my fucking pain, and he's
so he did not need to do that.
no, and he's going in with the saw man.
Because he enjoys this crap. He's
what
a sadomasochist monster.
Yes, what a piece of garbage this guy is here, and he starts to get into her, but she reasserts control. The pleasure's all mine, darling. She takes back power by reclaiming that word for herself.
Because you can realize there's a lot of dead bodies or dead hosts laying around.
Yeah.
So she's able to reappropriate those for her own needs.
Yep. And they stand up like a bunch of creeps, and they go at him, and they say, turn him into a corpse. I did like this move here where she gets in there and she chops his throat open, right where Maeve's wound is.
Right. So here's the question, though, is that she doesn't do this until he turns her pain receptors back off. Which means
well, one of the other guys did that. Like the cowboy guy came over and helped her.
Well, no. I'm saying that she didn't actually take force to protect herself until that happened. Do you think that was linked to the pain receptor, or do you think she was simply biding her time for the right moment?
Why did she wait to bring these people back up?
That she was forced into action because he was about to do something that could permanently disable her.
Yeah, I think that probably is it.
So you think she could have done this at any time, but she was just biding her time for the right opportunity?
I mean, you could say that she had to heal or something, because they never explicitly showed her being rejuvenated, other than that they show her, I mean, she's been in the same state for quite a while.
Right, because you could presume that she got the ability to basically bring herself back and to control her own settings after her conversation with Ford, where he kissed her forehead and she got the new code.
There you go, that would be it.
But after that time, she was simply waiting for an opportune moment to use her newfound abilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is when Bob Costa has sex here.
Who's Bob Costa?
Oh, man. Oh, God. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response. Don't you ever watch sports?
Nope.
Come on. Be masculine like me.
Nope.
Watch NBC Olympic telethon on TriCast.
I watch BattleBots. BattleBots is the jam.
BattleBots.
I love these BattleBots.
He's just like one of the more famous sportscaster guys.
Sports bore me to death.
It's Costas, by the way, I think. And there's also a political reporter, Robert Costa.
I know Costanza.
Exactly. My point. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Put it on Reddit. All right. So anyway, they take over and they tear his flesh and he groans, and it's no fun for anybody. He starts bleeding and stuff. And
so a piece of garbage finds his end.
Yeah. Gets his
die young Billy Bob Thornton.
His just desserts, as we like to say. Young Billy Bob Thornton, huh?
Die candy corn.
I'm with you a little bit on that one.
It's very, very, very subtle.
Sure. I agree.
I'm not sure what it is, but there's a very tiny thing about his face that reminds me of him.
He has more of a thing of the guy from Will and Grace, not Will, the other guy.
Grace.
No. Well done, though. That was exactly what you're supposed to say. God damn, he's really famous because that show was a big... But yeah, whatever. All right, so then Maeve is like... he gets up. This is where the guy turns
because she directs him to do so.
Yeah. So that's a good thing to do. And so she feels better. She goes, oh, yeah, baby. That's the sweet stuff.
That's brisk, baby.
Yo, that's
brisk.
brisk.
Commercials even on anymore?
Probably they are at Sylvester Stallone's house. He plays them on a TV, on his fireplace TV. People put TVs above the fireplace. That's always bad design. Nobody wants to sit down and look that far up.
It's more for appearances.
I understand.
It's not very tactical.
But come on, TVs got to be low if they're in a couch room. If TVs are in a standing room, like a pool table room, then you put them higher up. Just think it through, okay, everybody? I used to install aquariums. That's why I know what I'm doing. Aquariums are like TVs, is my point.
Anyone put an aquarium above the hearth?
No. A thin one. And it was really fucked up. It was 4 inches thick, front to back.
Terrible for the fish.
It was about 6 feet left to right and about 4 feet top to bottom. So it was really difficult to clean. You can do a long, wide aquarium, but it wasn't set up well. And if you have to have very good algae management, or else you're in big trouble because they're hard to clean. And it was a saltwater. It was a very bad installation. Okay, I see. Whatever. I can do that. Check it out, Aquarium Professor, everybody.
So we got Hector.
Yeah, Hector's back. This guy, all of a sudden, we got a ghost walking in from the distant past.
Yes, the last time we saw him was at the homestead when the Ghost Nation apparently attacked. They didn't really attack, but they kidnapped Maeve's daughter.
Right, and they thought they were being attacked.
Yes, so it was a misdirection there, but we had not seen these characters since that moment.
No, and they seem to be weirdly missing, although I guess they did leave, we haven't seen them until now, and they show up here. They find Lee Sizemore contributing to the fight here just by curling up into a ball in the corner.
This is a very weird looking buffalo. It looks like it's got a little base to it and everything.
This guy here? Yeah, it does, doesn't it? There was like there's a coyote or wolf or something. There was also some other animals back here. I just like that Lee's doing this. Like, he's like, I've had enough. I've got to just fucking...
So the important thing to know is that the last time they saw Lee Sizemore, he was being driven away by one of the enemy's units. He was the one who used the cell phone to call for help.
Yeah.
So as far as they're concerned, he betrayed them, and he's responsible for everything that befell them.
Right, right. And this is why Hector's angry at him and threatens his life with a weapon. But he talks his way out of it. They don't kill him, right? So he brings in the other part of the gang here, including Felix, and I don't remember this young lady's name. Arrow lady. So there, there's another near miss from Sylvester at the hands of the robots who he's been torturing for a career. But then we hear noises and we're like, oh, what's going on here? And we, there's our guys on the thing. There's something on the other side of the door.
I could be wrong about this, but I feel like the larger guy is Sylvester, and the one that you just referenced, the Asian man, is Felix.
Yeah, the Asian guy's Felix. Did I call him Sylvester?
I could have been wrong. I thought you did, but maybe I'm wrong.
That could be. I don't know. Well, they've been a pair for so long, it'd be like confusing.
I mean, it's hard to keep them straight.
Yeah, like which one's Milo and which one's Otis?
I don't even know.
Either way, I want to pet him.
There was a time I knew.
I want to feed him. And
actually, I do know that the dog is Otis and Milo is a cat.
How dare you? How dare you?
I had it on VHS.
Oh, hello, Milo. Do you want to go to the farm? Oh, no, a stream. That's the plot of the movie.
And I told you many times, like, when I made my grandparents watch it back when they were alive and I was a young child. Yeah. At the very end, I thought that their hearts should be warm. They're very cold people.
The grandparents should.
Yes. And after it was over, my mother and father looked over at them. I looked over them with childlike wonder in my eyes, like, did it warm your heart, Grandpapa? Did you like it? Yeah. He just had his arms crossed, and he had this very stern look, and he goes, GD dog didn't take a GD crap the whole movie. I was like, oh, okay.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
It never shits in the movie.
Do you really want to...
That's like watching 24 when the guy never eats.
I mean, would it really make sense if there was like a zoomed-in shot of the dog's back legs quivering as it pushes out some dookie?
Yes, squatting down in that weird yoga position dogs do. When
Otis, you should not have eaten that pizza. No, I mean...
mildly shamed look on his face.
Do you think...
Maybe the cat ate the poop?
Do you think that man ever thought in his entire life that one sentence that he said would live on 30 years in the future and would stick in the mind of the person he said it to?
No, be nice to your kids, everybody,
because Yes, the most powerful memory that remains of you. You only live as long as someone remembers you for. The plot of this whole episode, that is what he lives on as. The man who criticized the dog for not crapping in Milo and Otis. You have achieved immortality. Congratulations, grandfather.
And hopefully it's bringing joy to people listening, and that way your grandpa is providing these people with the relief that a poop gives you that dog never got to experience.
Yes.
Fake dog. I agree with your grandpa. Fuck that movie. Fuck Milo and Otis. I hate them. Great movie. Fly Away Home, everybody. Also a tearjerker. Give it a watch.
Homeward Bound.
Really? Yeah, that one's good too. Yeah, Fly Away Home. Anna Paquin. But they should do a Jurassic Park Fly Away Home crossover where dinosaurs eat the plane.
Well, originally the ducks kept flying into the blades of the plane.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just a massacre. It was blood everywhere.
Yeah, that's what they call duck a la red, a la rouge. Red blood. Duck blood is red. Okay.
Duck blood is red.
All right, so anyway.
You must be a veterinarian to know such obscure things.
I assume. Okay, next shot, we got bulls coming in, and this is Pamplona, Spain, inspired vision here, where Maeve has released, this is
another shot from the trailer where it wasn't immediately apparent. I said when this first happened, I was like, that's got to be Maeve, because the last time we saw her, she was basically awakening, she was regaining control, and who could control animals but someone that can control mental capacity from a distance? It's got to be Maeve.
Yeah, yep, exactly. Maeve or Cesar Milan.
Now, I'm a little...
I like that they're all making shooting face.
I don't know if I'm disappointed or if I'm surprised by the fact that the Shogun never make an appearance in this episode, being the season 2 finale.
Holy shit, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that was my whole thing. We're not going to see them again.
Yeah, you would think they would come back to kind of help at the critical hour, but
all they did was borrow Arrow Lady.
Yeah, they just taught life lessons, basically.
Yeah. What the fuck? We didn't get Medieval World.
No.
That's the extent of my creativity. I just wanted more Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
you're right. We didn't okay. All right, I don't need to, okay. But anyway, we got a lot of nice fun slow motion bull action here. They're part robots, but they're stabbing dudes in the belly, poking guys in their pokey parts, pushing that guy into the fence, or sorry, not fence. What do they call it? Clear fences? Glass walls. And boom, takes them out like that. That's pretty fun. Yeah, so we got all kind of, geez, don't step around in barefoot, everybody. You're gonna be careful. Keep your shoes on.
She's walking all cool and collected.
Yep. Oh yeah, I like this shot. I'm glad I got to it here. Ooh. Okay. Okay, perfect. And this guy's getting hit, I think, there too. And everybody, oh yeah, he fires his weapon, which pops this guy's eye out. Very deliberate choice to show a left eyeball being shot, I would say, right? Would you agree with that?
Sure.
Yeah, all right, perfect. And then here's the Maeve shot from the trailer we see. Look at her all badass. It would be kind of funny if there was like a bull came up behind her and just took her out. Oh shit, I didn't think I should have done a rehearsal. Yeah, so look at this.
Did you wish she had said something like, I'm tired of your bull crap?
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Yeah.
No, that's what I call a load of bull.
I'd say, and I thought dog walking was bad. Which doesn't make any sense. That doesn't, okay, so bulls are running, and this is fun. This is fun. Or like Michael Jordan comes sprinting by really fast out of nowhere.
He starts goring people. You can see he has horns for some reason.
Yeah. He might. He's fucking good.
Yeah.
Greatest player of all time, everybody. Don't you dare tell me this LeBron James is better than he is. No, I know there's a valid debate. It's a very valid debate. I'm from the Chicago area, so I will never.
I'm going to put you to a
I
challenge.
have to say Michael Jordan because I was a kid.
Challenge?
Yeah, all right.
I want you to keep on going as though I'm not gone. We've gone for like 10 seconds. Go grab a Coke.
Oh, you don't want?
I don't want you to stop. I want you to keep going, and I will seamlessly reintegrate myself.
All right, yeah, no, let's do it.
And go.
Let's do it. I believe in myself. No, I don't. No, fuck no. There goes James. He makes that noise every time he gets up and goes away. It's horrible. It is nice though when I know it's how you know he's home because I hear from the outside. It sounds like this. It sounds like this. It's a little bit like Chewbacca, cutting his eyebrow, trimming his eyebrows. Do you think he tweaks? Okay, tweaks. Is that what you do with eyebrows? No, you Twizzlers. What? How do you? Oh, pluck. That's the word I'm looking for. Well, what do you do with eyebrows?
What? We're still in the same screenshot?
No, I moved up ahead one.
Okay.
All right.
She's a snuggie.
You were nice and quick, though. That was good.
Yeah.
Well done. I appreciated it. So did the fans. He's like, oh, shit, James is gone. I mean, Hank, it's just Hank. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm getting a little combobulated here. Need to get focused.
I love Coke.
Out of context. All right, so anyway, we got shooting. We got bulls running. I was tapping it pretty good there. Boom, boom. Take that. And this is all exciting and slow motion. And I'm always pulling for the bulls, I got to say. Whenever there's the running of the bulls or bullfighting, I'm always like, fucking stab those pieces of shit.
People like
especially the bullfighting more than the running. The running seems kind of cruel, but that's a little bit more. At least it's a fair...
I always liked... I always feel like the right thing to do is to be appreciative and to be respectful of other cultures. But when you say that bullfighting is a part of culture, and yet it's this blatant torture and murdering of an animal that has no chance whatsoever to win, who is terrified beyond belief and is purely fighting out of instinct for survival.
For the entertainment of a crowd.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care if that's cultural. That's just wrong.
It's wrong. Yeah. Well, that's the whole. Your culture sucks if it hurts people and hurts animals in ways that. I mean, I eat meat. So
there is no honor in that whatsoever.
No. I do like the photos. Not that I look at them much, but there's one of a guy running of the bull thing. And again, the bullfighters are worse than the running things. But this dude got hit, and the bull's horn went up its leg.
Oh God.
Is this gross to you? Sorry.
No, it's fine. I mean, he deserved it.
Don't puke. If you do, puke on my lap.
I'll puke right into my microphone.
Puke in my mouth if you. But it went up. It went in his leg, down near his ankle, and then it like traveled up the skin. So it's just like pressing the skin out up near his knee. And I was like, well, you shouldn't have fucking done that, man. What do you think's gonna happen when you're messing with a 2,000-pound ferocious monster?
The ones I've seen have been usually
who's angry.
Usually it's a guy who gets gored in the butt cheek, and it looks like it's going right into the Hersey Highway, but it's going into the flesh of the butt.
Mm-hmm. Right into the Twizzler Avenue. Another one, and then a guy got gored from the chin down underneath the jaw, so from his up into his mouth, so the horn was protruding between his teeth.
I knew a guy. He's unfortunately dead now, but as a child, he was running through. When you harvest corn.
Oh yeah, do I?
The stalks get cut, and at the very base of the stalk where it's cut, there's a very rigid, very strong base to it.
Yeah.
And as a child, he was running through a cornfield, tripped and fell onto one of those rigid things.
And they're hard.
It went straight through the fleshy part underneath his chin and was coming out underneath his tongue.
Oh. Was he stuck on there, or did he get up?
I don't know. I mean, he died about maybe 10, 15 years ago.
From that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I knew his son, who, unfortunately, his son is
Okay, all right, it's okay. No, they leave their business out of it.
Yeah, I'll tell you
You
off.
can quote your grandpa, but no,
off camera.
All right,
not that we're on camera, but off recording.
Yeah, off mic, off air. Yeah, all right. Well, boy, there's a lot of tragedy we could get to, but check out our Patreon. Okay, so the guy gets killed and pushed, and now we also get a whole thing here of the falling bull from the intro. Yeah, this is kind of where that comes from.
Gives some meaning to it. Yeah.
Do you think what's the more greater meaning? Just the lack of control, the powerful thing losing its or reacting in a going to such an extreme thing to hurt its a target that it also ends up killing itself, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
There's a lot of metaphorical and powerful things you could read into that.
Like right here, what do you think this guy, this is the metaphor for when you close your eyes?
No, he's like, I've got a thought, but will Sylvester know?
Will this LARPer behind me notice that I've
And
not
if he does, I'll
fart?
just turn around and say, it was part of my narrative, I wrote it in!
And by the way, you're too bald to have such long hair. So anyway, Maeve tells them they're late. This is a good acknowledgement that they haven't been around very much. And
she has searched herself back into a position of power, saying that you couldn't save me, so I decided to save myself.
Exactly. And
Which she fails to mention the little bump she got from Dr. Ford.
Oh, right, the kiss on the top of that.
The very thing that enabled her to do what she did. She just kind of ignores that.
If you get tired at work tomorrow, just tell me. I'll come kiss the top of your head. Okay, give you a little booster.
All
right, so back to the Exodus. And I did like that they got the Man in Black and Dolores in the foreground. They made them easier to spot. They would have been harder to pick out if they were farther away. So that's nice. They're not looking for. So they're talking about what the hosts are up to. What's going on here? Why are we all walking through the desert?
So she's basically telling me they're not looking for a way out of the park. They're not looking to escape, much in the way Maeve was trying to escape. They're looking for basically freedom. To a different world that's free from the constraints and the influence of mankind that they're currently living and suffering in.
Right. Yes. However, he wants to destroy it. She doesn't want to destroy mankind, but he wants to destroy what?
Well, she does kind of want to... She wants to destroy any world that is artificial, that is another construct used to keep the hosts in a cage. She wants the real world.
To her, anything less than the real world is confinement.
Exactly. In the words of Vanilla Ice, anything less than the best is a felony.
Better something.
Love it or leave it, but I can't wait.
Dope melody.
Something like that. Yeah.
Will it ever stop? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check out my hook. Her DJ revolves it.
Exactly. Yeah. A couple of goons that were up to no good started showing up in my neighborhood.
Yeah. She got in one little fight and her mom got mad. She said, move with the aunt and uncle in Bel Air.
Let me start at the start and take it away. The name is Simpson Bartholomew J.
That one I don't know, but I'll pretend that I do. I like to go and eat some rad stew.
I'll just let you win with that one. I like it.
I don't know.
Was Rad Stew a reference to Fallout?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
Yes, sure. Why not?
Okay, that's right. We're a little scatterbrained tonight, everybody. I hope you don't mind. Spiky bits, closer spiky bits. These are like if the desert had all its nipples in the same spot. There goes Bernard. Now, this is the thing I referred to. His shoes are dusty. I remember noticing.
He's been walking for quite a while, though, as we can surmise from the lack of car.
Where's the car? I don't. Yeah, he's obviously been walking quite a bit.
It's almost like he should look back and goes, I miscalculated.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus. And then you get a little bit too far and you go, should I go back?
Yeah, if they given us like
make any sense to go back
given us like a fuel gauge or a battery gauge going to zero, I'd be like, okay, fine, that's why I got on walk.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just didn't want to create like leave tracks, but he's leaving footprints. Did he want to be quiet? I don't get it. Why, Bernard? Why?
Why, exactly. Yeah. Well, what's your 3G status? Are you on LTE here, buddy? He should have like the little symbols above his head, like cell phone signals and stuff, alarm if your alarm is set. And, so then we have a door opening, and it was like, oh, here we are. Come on in. It's like
so apparently, so he apparently knows the way to the forge, and you can presume that he knows the way to the forge because he's been an employee of Delos for a long time. It was probably locked in his core programming,
and he's got
because he's got Ford in his head.
Yeah, the mind of the creator in his head. Yeah.
So he has every reason to know where the back entry is, where the door is.
That really speaks to that bicameral mind thing, doesn't it? That the Dr. Ford himself is the other
quite
voice
a literal bicameral
inside
mind.
his head. Yeah. And interesting. And he's got two eyes. Bicameral.
Bi-minin. I don't even know what that means.
No, that's a cover. I like bi-minin. Yeah. All right. So he gets the car comes up and he's kind of like, no, shit, what do I do here? And these dudes are like, nope, sorry, pal. He wants to try to convince them. Oh, there's a good one.
This right here is the reason, one of the first reasons.
This right here or this right here?
Right here is one of the main reasons why The Walking Dead started going down the road for me. You have a lot of scenes like this where there's no one within a mile around.
Yeah.
Complete silence.
Trained soldiers.
Yes. and yet magically zombies, or in this case, the Man in Black and Dolores, teleport into the scene within range with which to shoot them without... You would hear a horse approaching.
Yeah. Right, yeah. You'd think you'd hear almost anything.
Yeah.
The slightest scuffle. You'd hear a spider fart.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit BS.
Yes, I actually agree with that. They did kind of, especially, they're riding horses. It's not like they can be tiptoey.
Yeah, unless the horses are rocket horses that were hovering above the ground, like Star Wars.
They literally sound like coconuts being smacked together.
And not only that, but the dust trail they would kick up. I mean, if you go back a couple of scenes, look at the dust
from that thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if that happened, you would...
Right here. Dusty.
Yeah, I mean, horses don't move through the desert without dust. And you could say, well, they didn't see them coming because of the dust from the vehicle they were in.
Yeah,
but you would hear it.
You would probably have heard it. Yeah, they did emerge quite out of nowhere. And more unrealistic to me was that they have a little gunfight here. Pow, 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 take that. Hi-ya. Of course, Bernard was like, oh, shit. And then Bernard, actually, no, that's later on here. I had an issue with his choices for a moment that you'll see in a bit. But yeah, I would have assumed that these soldier dudes would have won this fight. They have much better guns. They're probably more accurate weapons. I know that they're not hardened killers like Warlordess, and Man in Black, but come on.
This kind of feeds into
they have a thing to hide behind.
Right. This feeds into my irrational assumption that the Man in Black was digging into his arm because he has artificial implants. We've seen him do his gunslinger thing many times.
So I just pictured a boob on his arm.
Yes. His saline implants.
Nice tit. On your forearm. Oh,
it's his new wife.
Yeah.
But not that a wife is nothing but,
of course,
Anyway, but is it not possible that he has enhanced himself with some sort of biomechanics that gives him the ability to be as good as he is when he's not in God mode in the park? We've seen him gun down people with extreme accuracy.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's and I presume that most of these shots that were like dead on were not Dolores, but were the Man in Black.
I mean, I don't know if they...
At least some of them.
She's been blasting
It's
people.
hard to know. Yeah,
she's kind of a gunslinger herself now. She wears a bandolero with the bullets missing from the top. But then she never changes the bullets that are missing. Fill them up or use them up. Come on. What's the point of wearing it? What, you doing this for looks? Yeah. Get out of here. So anyway, it was a bit unrealistic that they were able to win that fight. But good points about the potential upgrades there, because that's the sci-fi magic that makes everything easy. So anyway, this is someone you spent years looking for, and you don't even recognize him. So that's when she's like, "Who's this guy?" Or no, that's her talking. Man in Black was wondering, who is this
guy? Is kind of weird, though, because this is presuming this is the first time the Man in Black has come face-to-face with Bernard, because he's one of the few people that were actually around during the time of Arnold that he would actually recognize someone like Arnold.
Yeah,
but if I recall
Arnold
correctly,
should be a familiar face.
I mean, he works at Delos. He's been around forever. He was even at the gala at the very end of Season 1. The Man in Black was there, and Bernard was there. So why is he acting like...
Well, that might have been big enough to miss each other, but it does
maybe, but I mean,
weird.
there was certainly no protocols in place that were intentionally keeping them apart.
Yeah. Like, he should have been like, oh, that guy? The guy who won the softball tournament in 92?
It just seems very odd that this would be something... This would be a revelation for him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I guess... maybe he's just always been out. Maybe it shows how good Bernard was at his job, that he was such a behind-the-scenes guy his whole career. I don't know.
Or maybe Arnold,
or he was done in secret, and they went out of their way to make sure he never found Bernard because they didn't want the Man in Black knowing, or William, because he's such an influential business, he owns the place or whatever, or is an investor or something, that he might kibosh. Is that the right word? Put the kibosh. Kibosh.
That's what I always say. Maybe it's kibosh, but I always call it the kibosh.
Let's fight about it for 2 hours.
I can do that.
And put the kibosh on, the development of the Bernard program. So maybe there's a secret Bernard. It makes sense. Yeah, right, possible. This is when you get divorced. You have to say, "I did." Yeah. That's not that bad. So yeah, there they go. And I don't know what she's responding to. Ford didn't like to let the dead rest, and so they, that's a good point. Ford was monkeying around with all these corpses.
Which is kind of BS for someone like William to say, because he was the one that kept James Delos alive for all those times, and he didn't let the dead rest.
True.
So don't blame Ford for that, you hypocrite.
Well, perhaps he's just observing, understanding the incentives and behaviors of his co-workers. In this case, that would be Ford.
Still hypocritical.
Do billionaires think of each other as co-workers? Oh, his fucking co-worker. This guy's got a much bigger island than I do. Let's control some governments.
What was that word?
Get more money.
The con species or con specific.
Con specific. Yeah.
Billionaires are con specific to one another.
A unique yeah, but
assuming that
things are the
billionaire
same,
is a species.
Yes,
I know,
but conspecific meant things of the same kind.
Yes.
Right. It's a word that somebody used in a previous comment that in a previous video that we talked about on the Patreon podcast.
I'm going to use it at least 7 more times in the next week, so I learn it.
And I'm going to use the word retcon, which is another one that someone used. Okay, so all those hours Sarah spent. So now we're learning that this is how Dolores actually was paying attention to him. The tables have been turned.
She was studying him just as he was studying her.
Yes, the Chuck E. Cheese band is actually watching the audience. Not exactly the same metaphor at all, but you get it. So Ford tasked me with recreating him, and they made a true recreation of Bernard, but they changed him.
So I changed him.
Which
is not the first time she's changed someone. She changed Teddy.
That's right. She changed his diapers.
Yes, she did.
When he would have an accident.
When he had a Teddy Ruxpin.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't believe no one remembers Teddy Ruxpin but me.
I don't know what it is. I have no idea.
Teddy Ruxpin for me, when I was a kid, Teddy Ruxpin was basically, there were 2 toys, actually 3 toys that a child could have.
Okay.
And that's how you knew that child was well off and rich.
Sure.
One was a Power Wheel. That was the number one.
The Bigfoot Power Wheel?
Any Power Wheel.
Okay, yeah.
The number one, that's how you knew you were affluential.
I didn't have
the second one was a Teddy Ruxpin.
Okay.
And the third one was Light Bright. If you had all 3, then geez, crease you are rich.
Okay.
I had none of those.
We had one of those spiral drawing things. Do you have one of those?
Oh yeah, I had one of those. Yeah. We drop the paint on it and it spins around and it makes those weird like tie-dye, not tie-dye, but it makes those weird
We were
cool
too
patterns.
inept to even do it once.
Yeah.
We didn't, I don't know. But I had big wheels. I didn't have the power. I remember seeing it and then having to drive around my big wheels like a freaking pour.
No, I had
with the power of my own legs.
No, I had a big wheel. We had 2 big wheels. I had my own one that had a little water gun on it. My sister had a Smurf car that was seated 2, but she broke it very early on, so that when you push the pedals, the wheels had been taken off, so it was just 2 big pieces of metal that were shooting out the front that would shoot out like that.
Yeah.
So we recommissioned it and called it our digging machine.
Yeah.
So we would just put it next to a place we wanted to dig, and we would just pedal there, and the metal will just like dig into the ground and make a big hole.
Did you ever find stuff? Dirt?
No, I mean,
Worms?
the place that she would dig most often was right on the corner of our pet cemetery, so I'd always have to kind of move it, saying we don't want to, we want to leave the dead dead.
Yes, you shouldn't mess with the dead.
Yes, I mean she was much like Robert Ford. In
Can I
that
just
sense.
tell
She
really
let the dead be dead?
a quick dead pet story? You
Yes.
can skip ahead 2 minutes. This isn't a long one. So we had not an iguana, tiny iguana, chameleon. We had a chameleon. It was my brother's, and it died because we sucked at it, and we buried it in the yard or in the garden off the steps. And then one day, about 2 weeks later, we're having lunch, having hot dogs. The neighbor kid named Joey was by, both my brothers and me, and then Joey decides he wants to pull the dead chameleon corpse out of the ground, and he puts it on my brother's hot dog, and my brother screamed at him and was upset by what had occurred.
That was pretty hideous.
I just remember thinking we should have buried that thing deeper. Why would you make it easy?
Good Lord.
Yeah. All right. So that's good. Also, put a tree on top of dead animals. That way, the tree feeds off.
I hope he didn't really truly love that chameleon.
Well, not in the way you're implying.
Well, I mean, like
he wasn't a pervert. No,
I'm saying
I'm joking.
If someone had taken like one of my dogs that I grew up with, that I cherish, that I truly to this very day, truly love, and I saw him running around the yard with the corpse of that dog, it would traumatize the crap out of me to this day.
Yeah, like an old suitcase with some bones inside.
Yeah,
of it.
that would.
It'd be upsetting.
I would need to ram my head into something hard until I forgot permanently.
We were all properly horrified by the decomposing corpse of a tiny lizard on my brother's hot dog.
Right.
And I think my mom was annoyed that she had to get another fucking hot dog. So anyway, it's a good times. And
all right, so this
that boy was Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yes.
All right,
so we know from the very beginning Ford has always said that Ford made Bernard. We saw Ford wake him up for the first time, but when Dolores says that she made Bernard, she's not saying that she physically made him. She's saying that she programmed his mind. She reconstructed his core programming from her memories of Arnold. That's what she means. She designed him.
She designed his software, basically.
Yes.
Right. Sort of. I mean, maybe not design, but she programmed him. Maybe that's a better way of saying that. Right. Okay, so what are they talking about? Is that, I don't know.
Well, she's basically acknowledging that she made Bernard.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay, fine. And then now what, does he just start shooting? I mean, I'm just trying to remember if he says it's something first. But Man in Black decides this is the time where they're no longer useful to each other because he's found the door that he wants.
Found the door. He knows what he needs. He sees her as an impediment, so he's going to basically take the coward's way out and try and take her out.
Pops a shot.
Not realizing that she's been a little bit upgraded since the last time he used to rape and murder her.
She's in God mode in here, and she can take the hits, and she starts just shooting. Now, this is where I was judging Arnold or Bernard for, dude, move left or right, idiot. This guy's shooting at her. Come on. I know they might not even be real bullets or whatever the fuck because it's magic, you know, the science fiction bullets. But get the hell out of the way from her. You know she's being shot.
I was kind of hoping one of the bullets would hit her bandolier and have her chain effect. Just destroy her.
Like firecrackers.
Yeah.
That's fun. Yeah, why would that? Yeah, that could have been a thing. Yeah, all right. You know, kills like an animal that's nearby.
Yeah, that's
some
definitely her crit spot.
Some aardvark minding its business. Yeah, right. Why would you wear explosive
Yeah.
ordnance on your chest?
Luckily, he misses them every time.
Where's my grenade vest? Oh, she shows up to work wearing a bunch of kittens.
Yes, my C4 suit.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. He keeps shooting her, and she keeps getting bloody, but nothing. You know, she's fine. It's just these what do they call these? Det packs? What's the name of the
Squibs.
Squibs. Yeah, I knew there was a word for that. So yeah, squibs are going off, and boom, she's just fine. She has no worries. Although you think still shooting her in the mouth or the face would still fuck her up. I mean, I know she's immortal, but like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure that
there's some key parts that go on.
There's
there.
probably a reason they didn't do that budgetary wise, because
like,
she has to keep talking.
Yeah, like when they're like, "Oh, you can't kill a vampire." I'm like, "Yeah, you can. Just cut them into pieces, and you know,
yeah, stake through the heart, cut the head off. 2 ways.
Concrete and oceans and flights and you know, Antarctica,
sunlight.
Yeah, there's a way to do it. Okay, I thought this through.
But not Alucard. If you ever watch Hellsing, the anime series, you can't kill Alucard.
Alucard, is that the name of a guy?
Yeah, it's very well done. It's Dracula backwards.
Whoa.
But he is Dracula. He changes his mind.
Is blown. His name's not oh fuck. Why did they? What? Maeve. Rimp Maeve.
Not vampire backwards.
Fuck. All right. Anyway, so you hope to pour your minds into our forms. Yeah. So she's giving him shit about being such thinking he's calling the shots here. You're kind of like pretending there's some poetry in that. It's not. It's pathetic, motherfucker. So he wants to shoot her, but he can't.
And somehow she has calculated out how many shots he has taken up to the point that he reaches that one deformed slug that she slid into the gun.
Right.
Which is serving its purpose at this point. It basically backfires, the gun explodes, and does it blow his fingers off, or does it just severely disfigure his hand?
Well, both of those would be true. Those aren't mutually exclusive concepts. Yeah, I think it destroyed. I think it blew it off. It looked like it hurt one finger, but I think it hurt more than just one
his
finger.
hand is messed up to the point where he's not shooting with it anymore.
By the way, this is me when the kite's too strong. Oh, I should have said wind. I lost it. I'm so sorry. I took my nephew's kite and I let go, and then they cried. No, that's not true. I made that up, but it would be funny. So yeah, ow, my hand, it sucks. So no, what happened? So she must have obstructed the bullet or somehow impeded it. She did something to make it blow up with that other Teddy head bullet.
And I said at the time there's no question about it right there. I don't know how in the world she fit that into the gun. It doesn't really seem to make sense. It wouldn't really fit into the chamber.
Yeah.
But it's almost as though it's the very last time that Teddy actually protects her again in death. Because that's the Teddy head.
Yes, well said. Teddy is still
her protector,
fulfilling his mission from beyond the grave. And let this be a lesson to the rest of you boyfriends out there, okay? Step up. Step the fuck up. Shoot yourself in the head, and then make your wife or girlfriend dig the bullet, or your boyfriend dig the bullet out of your head, and then have her give the bullet.
But make sure that you headbutt the bullet in the other direction so that it doesn't form too much, so you can still fit it into the chamber afterwards.
Yeah. Or bring.
You got to guide it through your head so that it,
Anyway, so every step up, man, would you? So anyway, she's like, yeah, now you're dead, motherfucker, but I'm not gonna kill you because I still need you alive. So that's what happens with that one. We got to keep this moving though. By the way, we're gonna go about 6 hours at this pace. All right, so Bernard is, thinking about the Valley Beyond.
Yep. And every single time you zoom in on Bernard's eye, you know you're going back to a different timeline, and it's like, holy crap, welcome to Confusion Town.
Yeah, no kidding, man. I still have no idea what it is.
All right, so we're back in the timeline where he is with Strand. This is presumably him...
But this is not him waking up on the beach.
No, this is after the fact.
After he's been... But, okay. All right. Yeah, I was confused about what timeline this was exactly. So
we do kind of jump all around the place.
Yeah. So, but Floki over here, the Strand is like, they're more concerned about the data than they are about the guests, right?
Right. I believe this is the part of the timeline where they find out that Bernard is a host and he knows where Peter Abernathy's control unit is. So they basically have him out there as a captive at this point, trying to lead them to Peter Abernathy.
Yeah. Exactly. But Stubbs is, they have a little, tough guy square off here where it's like, yeah, fuck you, I hate you too. Oh yeah, you want to go? Oh well, I might report you. Well, yeah. Human beings are weird.
Yeah.
You know, we have a lot of different tough people, and then when two tough people are like, "Eh."
In the last season, he became less powerful when he lost Mjolnir.
Mjolnir.
Yeah.
Is that some kind of joke? What are you joking around about?
He lost his Thor hammer.
No, I was waiting for you to explain it. Yeah, he talking about his brother.
No, that was him. A lot of makeup, a lot of CGI, but there was actually, a lot of people don't know this, there's actually one Hemsworth brother. They just do CGI to reconfigure for the different
Kind of like how Gandalf was played by Patrick Stewart.
Yep.
Did you know that?
Yeah, exactly. That no one's going to comment that that's wrong.
Well, who played him? He had a fake nose.
Gandalf?
I'm trying to make him still be angry at me.
I believe you're right about that. Warwick Davis played Gandalf, actually. He was wearing stilts.
I'm trying to piss off the Actuallys, which is a sequel to Love Actually. All right, so... Oh, fuck.
Ooh, you opened Photoshop.
Yeah, fucking Photoshop. I also have an app.
That's a lady.
This app, by the way, gives me Windows functionality, or Mac functionality in a Windows setting. So everybody can kiss my butt, or you can Google it, because it's actually pretty easy to find and install.
You can Google your butt. It's pretty easy to find and install. I don't want to install your butt.
Considering the amount of shit I put online, yeah, it probably is out there somewhere. Fucking so much crap. Like me on Twitter, everybody, or subscribe, or I don't know what the... All right, so now, the music in this sequence was really cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this whole thing here.
And there was
the sound was good.
I almost wanted to stop the episode and watching. If you go back a couple of scenes or a couple of screenshots, there's a line of dialogue that was said here. And I hated myself for missing it, but I was like, it's okay. Hank's going to have caught it in a screenshot. And it'll be good. But
I get everything. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we didn't get it.
Oh, all right.
But it was something, there was a line of dialogue that was said to Bernard that referenced Peter Abernathy. And it could have been something as simple as, okay, enough of screwing around, take us to Peter Abernathy. Show us where Peter Abernathy's control unit is.
Right.
I'm hoping it was something generic like that and not something more poignant, because I missed it. I didn't fully have the time to read it. I didn't hear it, and I was really hoping we got it.
It's in this sequence here?
It was immediately before this.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, well, imagine something really interesting, everybody.
And the whole time I was watching, I was like, oh, Bernard's got his big black dinghy now again.
Big black dinghy. Oh, man.
Are you telling me that's not a big black dinghy? That is a big black dinghy.
Yeah. Jeffrey Wright. Home run there, fella. Nice.
I wish I had a big black dinghy like that.
Yeah.
I would float around in the Delta every day.
I'd like to see your mom's and dad's surprise when you popped out of the womb with a big black dinghy.
Well, I mean,
that'd be a pretty alarming...
I have to get a job and earn the money to buy it first, and then inflate it and everything.
I see. I thought you meant you're born with one. Yeah.
I mean, no one's lucky enough to be born with a big black dinghy. You got to earn that. I
don't know if we're going to put this on the internet. All right, so there's anyways, bad days for Bernard here, and
you got a guy who thinks he's on the Vikings.
This guy here, yeah.
Or he's Ragnar Lothbrok
on his way to a fishing tournament. Actually, these glasses are really effective for keeping light out of your eyes and stuff. That's why the fishermen wear them and stuff, and race car drivers and shit. So anyway, this is them getting to India. They're at the Raj now. They've driven across the pond. No, I'm joking. But they are headed somewhere. I do like these rocks. These are kind of cool. Look at them smooth, looking like
now, bear in mind when they're
Cream Beach.
They're about to
Charlie's Chocolate Factory.
They're about to dock here, right?
Yeah.
Look at the coast. Do you see anything noticeable on the coast?
No dock.
Nothing on the coast.
What?
Now let's keep going.
What coast? You mean this shore?
Yes.
Oh.
Where did he come from?
Well, there's a little inlet. I mean, I get you, but this would be probably the best answer to your question.
Okay.
You're totally right. You're totally right. Like that is some serious continuity mistake going on there. Yeah. You should see a toe. They should have had like a foot just poking out. I mean, yeah. What do you think? I got you though.
I think it's just either he's slightly out of frame right there, or it's just an oversight, a mistake that they figured, who gives a crap? Who's going to go shot by shot on this? What kind of a loser would do that?
Right.
Well, that's the answer to their question.
What kind of weirdo would look this closely at? It's not one of those doesn't look like anything to me kind of situations at all.
It wouldn't make any sense in that context.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's how I feel when I see vegetables. Just kidding. I actually eat a lot of vegetables. What happened? Oh man, where'd they? So anyway, Hale knows what's up. She's on her way. So, but we already have bodies on the ground.
And by the end of the episode, we know why these bodies are on the ground.
Okay.
We don't know at this moment, but we do know by the end.
Right. So they're entering the thing. Is this a different entrance, obviously? Because Bernard was just at a different entrance.
I think this is intended to be the same entrance.
Yeah, but otherwise... Yeah, I guess it would be. It looks like it's the same entrance. Well, I mean, we have a fucking screenshot of the old entrance. Why don't we look at it? Sorry, gotta scroll up through the pile.
And what number are we on right now?
Oh yeah, good idea. Here, hold on. I'll get the number is 305. We have 1100.
Oh my
We're gonna go quick. Don't fuck. Where is it? screenshot 214.
Okay.
Okay,
So we got like dark dirt to the left of it, rocks and pebbles to the right.
And I'm looking at this shape here, and like this configuration, this constellation of stuff right there. So let's get to 305. Back to our test here. Nope, yep, there.
I see the dark dirt on the left.
Yeah.
I see the pebbles on the right. That's the same door.
I think it's the same door. Yeah. Okay. Same door. 98% confident, which is enough to bet on. All right, once we find the key. So then we're looking for the key, which we don't know exactly what that is, but we know somebody has it.
Well, no. The key is Peter Abernathy's control unit, the decryption key.
I was testing you. Yep, good job. Bob Costa's wondering. No, but yeah, they're looking for stuff. They got this really cool satellite thing. Isn't that neat with the laser on it? The green laser. That's the best kind.
Yeah, technically green is the best in Star Wars logic.
Exactly.
It's the more expensive type, and red is the cheapo.
That's right. Those cheap-ass red laser pieces of shit. Okay, so anyway, Bernard and what's her face?
Dolores.
Dolores are downstairs, and they're finally into the...
They're in the forge.
The forge. I almost called it the rogue. Well, there's a milkman working, which is good.
Yep.
He's got to have a person taking care of stuff. You always got to have somebody pressing buttons, making sure the air vents or dust or cleaned and shit. So yeah, she walks right in. It's all kind of nuts. This is the forge. There's nobody named Jordy running around, unfortunately. Jordy the Forge, my favorite guy. Every single guest here set foot in the park is copied. So this is all the storage. Now, what's the water for? Is this just temperature control?
I think it's to make it look cool and give rad reflections.
It really did feel like a final video game level.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah,
like
the whole red color and everything,
and the water. If you fall off the walkway, you have to restart at the beginning.
But just so if anyone's forgotten, the forge is essentially where all the biological and cognitive data is stored on every guest that has ever been inside of the park. Yep. This is their repository. This is their true value of what they've gotten here, so they can reprint and recreate anyone they want to at the drop of a hat.
But is this a backup of the IP that Hale is so concerned about?
No, this is, well,
because that data is in Abernathy's head. And
well, it turns out that from what I can gather, the data that was in Abernathy's head was simply the decryption key to the forge. It wasn't what I always presumed it to be in the past.
Okay. All right, yeah, that makes sense, especially since they talk about how much there is. So they're trying to save stuff. The whole thing about stories coming to an end was a big deal with this episode. They kept referring to that kind of notion, and I think it's interesting. And again, I suppose that's just another way of describing death.
And again, as with any time that we see Strand, typically we can presume that we're in the most up-to-date recent timeline, because the last time we saw them, they were looking at the bodies in the water. We didn't quite know why, and now he's certainly where her story ended, and he looks down and shows the body of Dolores.
Yes, this was a bit of a shock. Weren't you surprised when they showed a freaking dead Dolores with an eye hole here?
No, is it an eye hole? Is that? Yeah. It's kind of hard to see with the shadow there, but
and I brighten it up in Premiere, so it's dark, it's darker on our screen.
All right. I mean, I could buy that.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely 100%. Not a fun sight.
But we don't know how that comes to pass.
Right.
We don't know how Teddy goes from having shot himself in the head to being floating out in some lake. We don't know how Dolores became dead on the floor of the forge. A lot of things we don't know yet.
Right, yeah. And since you're not sure exactly what time it is, it's like, no, great, now there's a whole nother time jump here because they just showed dead Dolores. Fuck. So anyway, Bernard's going, oh, geez, this is weird. This wasn't in the description. The answer is in there somewhere. Oh yeah, that's right. They want to find the answer in Bernard's head, but he's got 20 years of unsorted data that they're like, hey, we can't get that. That guy's got all kinds of crap in his head. So that's unfortunate. They start beating him up, though, right? What do they do to him here?
Well, he gets a little frustrated. He basically they want the answer. They believe Bernard has it, but they don't know how to extract it out of him. Yeah.
Yeah, Bernard doesn't want to give it up, and it's all a little bit crazy.
So this is a flashback to the time where Bernard was originally in the forge with Dolores, and we presume that he knows what happened to Dolores because he was here, and then he must have left and then circled back with the people on the beach.
This is after their encounter with the Man in Black.
Yes.
So not that far back. This is still in that.
Yeah, the Man in Black is still cradling his hand outside the door.
Yeah. Right. So they've gone down and then they're doing this stuff. Yeah, he's asking her, "What the hell are you doing here, man?" And she's like, "I'm gonna kill everybody."
She brings out her Pokeball.
Brings out her Pokeball.
Okay, so we can presume that what she is putting in there is the control unit of her father, Peter Abernathy. This is the decryption key that gives her access to the forge.
Okay, all right.
This is a thing they've been after all the time because you can see encryption key activated right here. Yep. So this is confirmation that it is what we think it is.
Yeah, the circulating pump. I got one of those. It's called a heart. And filter level. Got one of those. It's called a kidney. No, I don't know. Yeah, they're having fun there. I don't know. I keep saying
I'm a little bit disappointed though that it turns out that all that was in Peter Abernathy's head was an decryption key.
Are you really? Look at the graphic there, fuckboy.
Pretty sweet.
It says key.
But what if this were Doom and she really needed the blue key or the red key or the green key?
That's how you know this shit's not real. When things are open, they become green.
Yeah.
Red means not open. Green means open. Video game logic rules everything. So yeah. So anyway, she's going to dial into this Lawnmower Man access panel, the port thingy here. She's going to have some lights around her face. And
yes. So if you want access to the cradle, you've got to have like a machine drill your brain out.
Right.
If you want to get into this one, you just simply stand in a nice, comfortable, like basically like getting your teeth whitened.
Yeah. Essentially, this is just going to a spray tan or this is like a futuristic HTC Vive or something like that. Yeah, they're just going to hit you with light. So he's like, oh man, I've never had a tan. This is not going to work. So. Nope, he's for it. She's like, join me. Come on, let's get in there. So he does it. This is much easier on the actors and on the special effects people.
Yes, much easier.
Some guys put some LEDs into a bent thingy, and off Jeffrey Wright goes into the land of aspect ratio 21:9.
Yeah.
So he's in the cradle.
So he's not, I mean, is it safe to say he's in the cradle, or should we be saying he's in the forge now?
The forge is the more accurate answer.
Because we find out in this one that in the forge was essentially the testing ground specifically for James Delos. This is the pseudo world that they inserted him into to test his fidelity.
Where he is right now.
Yes.
Yeah. Or a duplicate of that world.
Because if you recall, where they're standing right now, and that scene you just went off, this is James Delos' room. Yeah. There's the shelving units that gets exploded. There's the record player.
Yeah, the red record.
Yeah, this is very much so his room.
It'd be a hard bed to sleep in. I don't know. I need a wall. I would need like a door closed. I don't like it when my closet's open. Can you sleep with your closet open?
Yeah.
You sleep in your closet? Do you sleep in it? Do you sleep in a crate of dirt?
I think I did that once.
Really? As a kid, because you were hiding, or like as an adult, because you were just being,
I think I may have done it once as an adult.
On purpose? Were you drunk?
No, just
having fun.
I think it was just a why not moment.
I mean, okay, yeah. I mean, I've done weird shit. I get it. Indistinct chatter. That's another name for our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're getting kind of a tour of Sweetwater with all kinds of normal stuff happening, like original Dolores walking by, and that's a thing for wow, weird. The original Dolores. Who knows? By the way,
Parasol. You saw it first.
Yeah, I did see it first. I saw it while we were watching it because I have I'm one of those learning gorillas who will always win. And yeah, Parasol. There must be Parasol somewhere in this one. All right. So hats. Ooh, fan. Wait, we don't call out fans for some reason. I got excited. So now we're in the Mariposa Inn. They've entered, and Clementine is having a little chit chat with one of the customers.
Yeah, for the longest time, if you go back to the one before, I thought the name of this place was Hula's.
What? Hula? Here.
Yeah. Welcome to Hula's. Or Nula's.
Or Hujas. It's like more of like a J.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hujas. That's funny. Wait, is S the same backwards as forward?
No, it is backwards. You'd have to draw it the other way around. It's backwards there. You just.
Oh yeah, this is more like a fucked up 3.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I was like, that looks like an S. Okay. So anyway, she's talking to James Delos, the guy, or Delos, the guy we haven't seen in a while because he was turned into ashes before. In this world, you can.
This is his digital persona.
Right. So we're seeing him living out his sort of immortal life, but they're getting or they just did they load this?
This is where they would essentially test his digital mind before they would load it into a host body for final real world testing.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. But he's apparently though this is happening right after he's purchased it. Because he's like, this is him going, because he does this right here. I just bought it, and now he's going to basically run the park himself.
It could be, depending on how,
This is like the billionaire who bought Disneyland and then he shuts the park down for a day so he can ride the rides without anybody around him.
Right.
And instead of rides, these are hookers, so he's going to have a probably an orgy and then
it all depends on at what time they captured his data to load into there. Because this could have been years after he bought the park, but they're just running it off of an old firmware version of it.
It's possible that they've
There's no way to know.
Yeah, it's hard to say for sure. But I would assume, I mean, this makes sense, though. Like, you would, if you bought a Tesla factory, you'd probably be like, give me a fucking Tesla.
But the whole thing is, why would you even bother trying to recreate him personally in Westworld instead of a test subject if you did not realize that his mortality was coming to an end?
If you did not realize. Oh, man. You really tripped me up with that. I don't know. Let us know in the comments below. Or go ahead. Do you have an answer?
No. It seems like they would only resort to something like that when he knows his life is coming to an end.
Yeah.
Because why would the billionaire investor be the one to be the guinea pig for that? That's never going to be the case.
Well, I thought it was it would seem strange that that would be the first guinea pig.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you would do it to a bunch of other people and then work out the kinks, and then you do it to the billionaire.
You wouldn't
investor
insert
guy.
your mind into something a week after purchasing the park. That just
you would
seems odd.
murder some poor people for the benefit of the rich guy.
And once you know it's safe and howdy-doody, then you do it yourself.
Right. The system has to work to protect the rich guy. That's how it's supposed to work. Yeah. So with the entire fucking lot of I like that he's got that gruff voice. So anyway, they walk out, and immediately we're in some Twilight Zone shit going on here because they walk out and they're in the street again, but it's a whole different setup here. We got corpses and bodies and stuff, and dudes getting shot. Horses seem weirdly calm.
Yep.
That's my horse impression. Delos is laughing. He's turned into quite a maniac. The Lehman Brothers is about to collapse. 2008 financial collapse reference, everybody. Everybody loves financial collapse humor. No, he's being really mean to the host. He's turned them all into like these horrible hostage. And I did like that they explained that they're tweaking this guy. They're making little changes, but small changes yield these big swings. So he
and it's kind of weird when we saw him deconstruct in real life when he reached his decay point after 35 days or so.
Yeah.
He was looking in the mirror and he was cutting his own face in the mirror trying to figure out who he was. And it looks like his digital form may have been doing the same thing in this world too, based on the wounds on his face.
Yeah. It seems you got to either somebody does that to you or you do it to yourself. I suppose it's or maybe you just have some real full mosquitoes or something.
Parasol hat.
Right here. I'm trying to think of a pair of eyes joke, but I also want to use in the saw part as a saw because he can't see out of the one eye. That's where my brain was spinning there for a second, but I couldn't come up with anything funny, so I explained it and made the video worse. But he's a deputy. He's got a string on his watch. I've always wanted one of those just to sell it on eBay because who would wear that? All right. So what humans define as sane is a narrow range. I agree with this. I remember. Yeah. Do you agree with this sentence?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
We walk a very thin line of insanity.
It's sanity, insanity. Who can tell the difference anymore these days, huh, James? You know what I'm saying?
Hat's crazy.
Did you say hat's crazy?
No, but I like that better, so I'm going to say yes, I said hat's crazy.
I like that. Okay. Looking for parasols. Okay, all right.
His hat disappeared.
Pair of butts here.
Can you go back one screams up? Hat, go forward.
What?
No hat.
Does he shoot it off?
I think he knocks it off, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're right. I think he does.
But let's pretend he didn't and say it's a big conspiracy that his hat disappeared.
Yeah, let's put that on Reddit. It would be funny if he put it on his tushy right there. Just because he's in charge of everybody. But she's like, this is crap. Look, they have an Undertaker.
No.
That's nice. That's just a slide to the
right next
Felix's office.
Next door to the overgiver.
Well done.
Someone who gives too much.
Anyway, Delos is terrorizing these poor people. He's making them run and shooting them. He's being a real jerk. Not nice.
Yeah, it shows that really he was not ready to come out into a host body, and that every single time he was incinerated, he probably deserved it.
Right. But this is a simulated world, so as video games get more and more realistic, you and I are going to turn into psychopaths, as will everybody who plays video games. Joking, guys. I'm not, but there will be a point where it's like disturbingly realistic, right?
Yeah,
they're gonna keep them cartoonish for. I think there'll be a push for realism, but there also will be like the 8-bit thing where it's like, no, we got to pull this back on the other side of the uncanny valley because everybody's getting all fucked up in their head because we're murdering real people in these video games.
Okay.
I'm going forward like 50, 60 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. I hope I live long enough because Double Dragon 6 is going to be fucking tits. For a conscious mind to wander around.
He said this place was never designed for a conscious mind to wander around in it. Yep. This was purely a testing grounds for James Delos, and it's showing that when a conscious mind, such as James Delos, is left loose on it, it turns into utter chaos.
Oh, see, I thought that they were saying that these two are conscious. And
they are.
That's why they have free reign to roam around.
Yeah, well, they're basically referencing James Delos.
Oh, okay. All right. Look at his cute little house, huh? Look at that. Isn't that nice? And then all of a sudden we get a little bit of this,
It's weird eternal sunshine of the spotless mind thing.
Some kind of special effects here. I was thinking of Wrinkle in Time for some reason. I never even saw that movie. I did read the book. And they end up in this home.
They're being welcomed by someone of great power.
Right. Yeah. It turns out that this is the Delos house, right? This is their
estate. This was a memory from the ball that was held at the Delos house. Right. And they start walking down the hill. And I remember as we were watching it, wait a minute, going down that hill was where Dolores originally encountered Logan, who was sitting in a chair down there. And lo and behold, Logan appears.
Yeah, and he comes back from the dead.
And this is sort of like a scene from The Matrix almost, where it's like, I am the keymaster, I am the gate master.
Yeah.
He is basically a construct that looks like Logan, speaks like Logan, but isn't really Logan.
Right.
That was essentially the control unit of this reality.
He is the caretaker of the
kind
park.
of, yeah,
but
I think that's a fair assessment. He was basically tasked with recreating all the mindsets and molding all the characters inside of the system.
Yeah, yeah. And they just needed an interface to talk to.
Yeah,
it's like the movie Singularity on Netflix, which is John Cusack.
It's sort of like they needed that kind of a role for ease of use, and they're like, well, let's bring back Logan. People like Logan.
Yeah,
why not?
And it also ties in the family drama that adds to the emotional heft of the plotline advancement. But look, I did like that they did this kind of like pixel disappearing stuff, this sort of effect here with the background fading away, like the holodeck disappearing. That was always good. I mean, stuff like that's fine. All right, Logan was tested building perfect copies of the guests. And then, oh, fuck, I got to block those titties.
Block it.
Oh, gross. Sorry. What, J.J. Abrams doing this thing with these blue stripes here? I mean, I've had tits that big. Mine are okay now. I've been doing push-ups and stuff, but mine could be smaller probably, I think. I don't know. My nipples aren't symmetrical.
But this is sort of like the whole reference to like Infinity War with Doctor Strange, and not to give away too much. I think most people have had a chance to see it, but where he looks into the future and sees like millions and millions of iterations of how things could possibly go, and realizes that they all, save one, end in the same end result. And he's saying that he's run basically tests on James Delos in millions of different configurations, and it all ends in the same way.
Right.
And that human beings, even though they're not robots, are inherently simplistic organisms that are based on an algorithm that have very little complexity to them, but end up making complex choices. But they have a much more predictive quality than people realize.
To survive at all costs.
Yeah, they said something like they're like 10,300 lines of code, which he represents as a very not too thick book.
Yeah, like a 300 pages or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
10,300. Oh, yeah, he's 300 pages. Yes.
Yeah, like
I would say about that. Yeah,
not a small book, but not a big one.
Yeah.
It's not like The Stand.
No, I haven't.
I know. Okay. But we learned that his cornerstone, though, that's why I'm hesitating on these shots, is his son. He talks about that thing that drives his motivations. He hates he's a cheeky wee cunt, but I would do anything for him.
Right, but he almost speaks of that as though that in and of itself is a falsehood, that he knows that he's supposed to say something like that because you're supposed to care for your children and supposed to say that your children are the most important thing to you in life. But I think he was implying that that was a lie that he was telling himself, and that wasn't really actually the case. At first I was seduced by the stories they tell themselves. This is the story that James Delos is telling himself, that his son is the most important thing in life, but really it's not.
So he's learning this is just, I'm persuaded. Yeah, I agree. All right. I was just going to say all that, everybody. Well, good pull, man. That was well done. But this is Logan talking there, and you know why they did make this. So he's like sort of tasked with the same mission that everybody in the park, well, not everybody, but that Arnold and Ford and they're all kind of looking forward to, is why do they make the choices they make? Essentially, that's the question that's being asked when we talk about consciousness. Yeah,
and I don't know if we caught this in a screenshot or if this happens later on, but at some point when they first enter the forge and they're walking with Logan, Bernard says something to him, and this might come a little bit later. He says basically, well, what's going to happen here? Did Ford order you to create this place, to maintain this place? And he goes, no, Ford didn't. You did. You get to say what becomes of this place.
Okay.
So we know that this was a creation done at the behest of Arnold. And we know Arnold never wanted the park to open. We know Arnold wanted to protect the hosts from the wrath of human beings. So it makes perfect sense that Arnold would create this digital world for the host to escape into, to live without the torture and influence of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it all fits together in terms of what Arnold would want for the hosts.
Right. You got a quad core running that thing, or maybe a hyper-threaded?
Yeah, at least a Pentium 3.
at least a X86 or
a Xenon.
Okay, so anyway, now we keep kind of jumping memories around, though. We got this nice kitchen here, and there's somebody in there. This is another shot from the trailer that we remember, where the Delos dad's walking. There's
very much so is.
His son sitting over there. I like these infinity pools. These are always nice. That's a sign that things are working out in your life when you one of those.
Complete the full gauntlet, you get the infinity pool.
Exactly. The green crystal makes it. Turns you into.
Gets rid of the algae.
I don't know. Yeah, you can click your fingers and get the flies off the bottom. So fuck are you doing here? And there's this, billionaire son who's wearing the glasses. He's boozing. He doesn't. Maybe they don't like that he's drinking here because he's been to rehab a bunch of times. There's this old story about being thrown into the deep end and forced to swim. How'd you learn how to swim? Did your dad just toss you into the river?
He kind of, sort of did, but not really.
Okay.
I mean,
what?
I chose to do it on my own.
You didn't have classes?
Oh God, no. We just go straight into the swamp and we just dive in.
Yeah,
that's how you do it in the South.
I can imagine. Yeah.
We do it because it looks fun, and then of course you slip under, but he's there to pull you back up. It was never a case where you're like, I'm too afraid, I don't want to do it.
But was it like, I'm going to teach you how to hold your breath and breathe and move your arms around?
That just comes naturally.
Yeah, I don't know.
You see your dog swim across, you're like, hey, I want to do that. And you learn how to doggy paddle.
True. Yeah. But instruction helps. I think even young children can do with, although mainly the thing for young kids is getting over the fear of it, because it's kind of scary when you're a kid doing swimming for the first time. You know, trust the adults that you're going to be okay, and usually it's okay. All people should know how to swim, because you'd see, you know, it's easy to fucking die. All right, so but he's mad that he's got a fucking junkie, and he's upset about it. So doesn't want to do this emotional crap. He gives him a chance. He says, I've given you chances before, but he's like, yeah, but I did. And he goes, you know, so even then he didn't give him a shot. So maybe he doesn't trust him, or maybe he knew Logan wasn't ready or something. Yeah. Or, I mean, addiction is a cycle of this. Is
more so that was a way to say, get out of here.
Yeah.
He wasn't really giving him a chance. He was saying, just bide my time now, get out of here, come back. Not really to say, come back, I don't really want you back.
Right. This does not seem like the kind of father that would have done a bunch of Googling and learning about how to handle its, you know, child addiction. I mean, it's a very difficult thing for any family to go through. It can be problematic, especially if you can afford drugs like rich people.
Yeah, apparently this was the moment that Logan realized the true nature of his father, even though he's saying, he's appealing to him from the deepest emotional level, saying that like the child who was thrown into the river to swim and sank, he's saying, I'm all the way down now, I'm at the bottom, I'm at rock bottom, I need your help now more than ever, and he still turns his back on him and walks away.
That's not very nice.
Because that's in his core programming, and every single time that they run this simulation, that's what he chooses to do, because that is his core programming, that is who he is.
Yeah. By the way, this is me at the end of Hope Floats. Oh, it sure does. It floats so much.
Why would you even watch that?
It's a great movie.
You lose your man card watching that.
Sandra Bullock. Action award hero Sandra Bullock. Haven't you seen Gravity? Best movie ever.
There is no actor in the world I hate more than Sandra Bullock.
I don't know
That is well known with me.
My biological clock is ticking.
Are you sure? I mean, is that from, what movie is that from?
That's a Sandra Bullock movie.
Are you sure? Because that sounds a lot like the line from My Cousin Vinny.
I'm trying to provoke the actuallys.
Well, you can't do that because one of my favorite movie is My Cousin Vinny.
Okay, I apologize. I'm sorry. Why do you hate Sandra Bullock, though?
She's terrible.
Just the quality of her acting?
I mean, I don't have enough time to get into it tonight, but I hate her.
Don't be Googling
anything. I'm looking at the time. I'm not Googling.
Okay. I thought you picked up your phone and I was like, oh, no, don't do it. Okay, well, all right, fair enough. Maybe on the podcast we'll talk it over.
She's a monster.
This is such a random thing to...
Nope.
Really?
I've thought about this for years.
Okay. No,
let's plow ahead, though.
I'm not trying to disagree. I'm just curious. I'd love to hear why you think that. Not that you have
but we got to keep going, though.
To explain. I know. All right, so anyway, so that's when his dad died, and he said, like, oh, look, this sucks. Oh, man, fucking I'm dead, and I'm a dead guy now, and so that's bad. But people lived according to their code, we learn, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. So humans don't change, but we try, and then we're still sort of fundamentally who we are in a lot of ways. That's
exactly.
True.
No matter how many iterations they ran that simulation, it always ended up the same. A person is who a person is.
Exactly. So then we find. I did actually kind of thought this was pretty neat that they just used this arm out of the sky. By the way, this looks like an Ergoton product that's made by or sold on Amazon. I have one on my computer. If you can see the.
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing, actually.
So it's physically writing in a tome. So this is kind of what we were talking about before. As a person can be boiled down in the core, people are more simple than they're given the credit for. They're assumed to be more complex. They really represent 10,300 some odd lines of code, which can be written as a brief algorithm inside of a book. Mm-hmm. And that's what this thing is literally doing. It is writing the code of a person in a book. But James Delos in this particular situation.
This design is intended to diminish the human body. Like, all you need is a hand on the end of a robot arm, and you can write down all that's there for a code. I mean, it's over dramatic. You don't need the silly designed, flowery looking Cupid heart.
No.
You don't need that shit. So they're obviously doing that on purpose to try to make it seem like there's there's kind of a simplicity to this. This is almost godlike, I guess, in a way. I don't know. Just making stuff up here.
And there's James Delos on the spine of the book, so we know that is all that he is and nothing more.
Mm-hmm. If you read that backwards, it spells Dolores was an inside job. All right, so that's all there was to him was just a book. That's it. That's all.
He says once you know them, the behavior is predictable.
Yeah. Yeah, where are the rest of them? And we find, okay, there's Bernard in his spray tan.
Yes, we know there's effectively 4 million souls, if you want to say souls, inside this forge. Yeah. So that leads you to believe that there might be 3,999,000 other books in there, but we have not yet seen them, but we presume that they must be in there.
That's quite a lot of books. So now Maeve is, and Lee are riding up, and poor Lee's posture, maybe that's just a bad screenshot there. and they're being chased by a vehicle here. And, oh no, this is no good. So they turn around and like, oh crap, they got a car, they got headlights. This is trouble for everybody. So they run off, and then now we end up with Dr. Bernard here and Dolores. They're inside the cradle, the Forges thing, I mean, not the cradle. Logan's still telling them stuff. So we rejoin this thing. They waver between love and pride. That's all people really care about, isn't it? The ones, but there are some who are irredeemable. So it's like
William.
Yeah. Now, what does this mean, though? Why is we looking at a man in black? Is this a robot?
Well, no. He's basically saying that they're still inside the Forge. They're saying that the DNA, the cognitive profile of everyone who's ever been in the park is recreated inside the simulation. So of course he's going to be in there.
Yeah, I forgot that they're in the Forge. That's why it makes sense, because I was like, oh, is he a robot? Oh no. Yeah. So, but he's looking like, so they crap. No, I don't need to block that off. Yeah. Okay, as long as there's no erection, I'm good.
So I believe this is the part where Bernard looks to Logan and says, did Ford put you up to creating this place? And he realizes, no, Ford didn't, you did.
Yeah.
This is of your own making.
Yeah, yeah. There was a shot in here that I missed that I thought was something happened right behind a guy in one of these windows when they cut to him. But yeah, it was something about your own making and all that stuff. And so Dolores is heading up the steps up there. She's on a mission.
And here's the massive library, which is basically a repository of all the other 4 million people whose data is stored inside here.
Yep.
So this is just I mean, they could have done it in the sense that it could have been just a big server hall, which would have been boring but appropriate, but they did it in a way that made it a lot more classy.
Yeah, it adds a lot, this kind of dusty old tome library type of thing. Like, I expect Sam to walk up and go, hello, do you need your bed part changed?
Yeah.
Hello, can I solve any, do you want some drinking glass?
It's like everyone is really just their own story, and this is what it is. Everyone has their own book.
We all live in this library here, and this would be the tantamount to burning of the Library of Alexandria.
And of course, in reality, it's all just a server, but this is how they've chosen to represent it in the digital world, which is nice.
But they're able to go up to the books and pull them out, like opening a file, right?
Yeah. I mean, this is just the digital version representation of information.
Yeah, oh, that's right. None of this is real.
Yeah, you can see they're in Cradle Vision. Yeah. But not Cradle Vision, now it's Forge Vision.
I got you. I'm with it. I just keep, I'm dumb. Organizing books by color is always kind of fun. So yeah, there's a bunch of people. Look, we had septuplets here. That's what that was. All right, off we go. The world is on. So she's just like pulling out random books and stuff. Boy, the really thin ones must be babies. That's sad. All right.
I mean, not necessarily, because it's not...
Or boring people, like me.
Yeah, it could be that, because it's not a tale of someone's life and all the events that have transpired. It's basically the mindset of what their driving decision cognitive being is.
It's what's going on in their brain.
Yeah, it defines how they think.
Yeah. Mine would be leaking. Mine would just be, fluid. Okay. All right. There they go. All right. We got the Twitter horse.
Sunbutt.
The sunbutt.
Hat butt.
It's got an email address on its butt. And they're walking up. We got the whole thing. We got the whole gang here. Now, they kept showing this shot, and I wasn't sure what was going on. I was like, oh, is this like Evel Knievel?
Yeah, this is where they drive their horses down there and jump the canyon.
Get going fast enough, and the horse takes off. So, anyway, we got some Lakota chatter going on here. These guys. This guy's like, are you sure you know what you're doing here, buddy? And he goes, yeah, trust me, man. I got it. Don't worry.
Oh, you missed the screenshot. He says, if we die once more, at least we'll be free, or something like that. Or he says something poignant like that.
Yeah. So imagine something poignant, everybody. All right, so now we have a gunfight here with poor old Felix and Sylvester. That's
Sylvester and Lee Sizemore.
Yeah, but Sylvester tells them, "Dude, turn and run."
You can get them to stop shooting at us if you just simply go out there.
Yeah, like you're one of the employees. You're good. But he's. Yeah,
but Lee Sizemore now has a sense of purpose where he wants to be the one that helps them escape.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So Hector basically says, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to buy you time. Hector does this whole thing, spiel, where he's like, I'm going to sacrifice myself, this is my big emotional goodbye. He gets ready to go out there, and then Lee Sizemore pulls him back and says, no, you're going to go out there and deliver some fancy speech, but how about I do that? Because I'm the one who wrote it. I actually know it.
Yeah.
So we presume he goes out there in a way to kind of hold them back, to give his newfound friends, time to escape. Because he's never done something in the show that was not selfish.
Right.
He has always been in it for his own survival, for his own well-being.
And they had to walk a really fine line between melodrama and... something else.
Yeah.
Because they could have made this a little too cheesy. They intentionally made it cheesy though, because he's quoting a speech of his, which is from his cheesy story. And so it's supposed to be cheesy. Yeah. Actually, I didn't mind that that's how they did that. But
to get through it more quickly, he essentially goes out there and sacrifices himself needlessly.
Yeah, I agree.
He could have done, because they were saying, sir, it doesn't have to go this way. Sir, put down your gun. He could have done many other things to stall them, to buy time for them to get more distance, but he chose this, which makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, and he's, going through his lines, and then he gets shot right there.
What motivation does he have to die in this sense?
I don't understand that. That's a little weird.
He could have done a lot more to help them as a living person than he could as a dead person. This whole thing just made no sense.
Yes, I agree. And he could have, stayed by the tree and, used the tree for cover and just popped some shots at these guys to keep them busy and stuff. But he just, jumps out into the road and goes, here I fucking am. And
shoots at him, yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
It's just overly stupid.
I mean, it's sort of an easy wrap up to his life because he was sort of this, corporate writer guy who just was only cared about manipulating these toy pieces on a chessboard, on a big board of his own, but he came around to care for enough about him to sacrifice his own life to show that he actually deep down had that in him all along, but it's still stupid.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a big moment, a big reversal, a big show of a personal redemption.
Yeah.
And it turned out just to be incredibly stupid. It was such a waste of a character that was... his arc growing into something better than he was.
Yeah, his arc didn't need to be over, but maybe they were done with him in general because they weren't going to hire him again because he's still...
Yeah, I mean, not to give too much away at this point in the episode, but it does seem like a lot of arcs end in this season.
Yeah, it does, definitely does.
And I love how they kind of go back and look at the code in there. The code for people in the books is actually like the piano code that we see in the opening of every episode.
Yeah.
Which is great.
That's a cool detail.
And you can see on one of those thicker books right in the middle, it's got the Delos symbol on it, too.
Is that guy right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say. John Gallagher, Chan Ming, something else, I can't tell. Yeah.
But it is, because remember what Ford actually said, he goes, musicians or creators never die, they just simply become music. And this is probably what he meant.
They simply become animated GIFs.
Yeah. Because these people have all become music.
That's right. They're all music now. They're music pieces. That's very well said. Yeah, I get it. What if they just had a big stack of iPads and stuff? All right, so off they go, and boom, there you go. Yeah, we turn into... he's showing them this whole wall thing turns into this Valley Beyond.
This is the...
That's it, literally.
A virtual Eden, the Valley Beyond. This is the digital paradise where they can live, that Arnold wanted them to go to so they could live untouched by the world you came from, as he put it.
Yeah.
But this gives a very good meaning to what's actually going on here, because very soon afterwards he says that they will go there, but they leave their bodies behind.
Right.
Which immediately made me think, oh my God, all those bodies down there are not hosts that were murdered or that committed suicide. These are the ones that went to the Valley Beyond and left behind their physical bodies. That's what it turns out to be.
So they activate something here. Now, did you know what they were turning on with this whole large field data
I mean, I know
array?
now, but at the time I wasn't sure exactly what it was.
Okay. Fluoride, James, to keep their teeth healthy over here.
No, too much can be bad.
Turbidity to start up. Yeah, that's right. You can overdo it. And then we got a milkman in the red light. So this thing activates. We got a whole Half-Life opening sequence here where they're activating some sort of secret, mysterious science device that's going to turn into something. We don't know what. And all of a sudden we get warpy sky particles moving around. We got a rift, some kind of thing forming, exactly like what's happening in Hawaii these days.
Yes.
With the volcanoes. Could you imagine just lava coming out of nowhere? Man,
yeah, and
what a lucky break.
It's literally like a rip in space-time that shows the Valley Beyond through it, and it's awesome. It's
sort
really
of like
cool.
Two programs sharing the same hard drive for a moment or something, crossing over.
This,
so we have a whole gap here. This is very Maze Runner.
And it looks like a terror too, but you can presume that this is truly the door that they've been talking about. This is the door to the Valley Beyond.
Yeah, it's almost literally, I mean, it's not a, I mean, there's no swinging part, which is but it's a doorway.
Yeah, it's a passage.
it's a jam. But I thought this was a great shot too, just so how high up it goes, sort of. So now everybody that's close can see something's going on, so they all kind of hurry. There goes Clementine running with her little row of ducks.
Typhoid Mary, yeah.
Typhoid Mary's on her way. This is a nice little shot there. They're getting in, but it's just a view. So the whole crew is walking up. It almost looks fake, and it looks kind of cheesy.
Yeah, it does. But the funny thing is that the next shot is not there, and it's looking from the perspective of Felix and Sylvester, and they're like, "You see something?
Yeah,
I don't see anything."
Yeah,
because only the hosts see it. Yeah,
yeah, that's pretty cool. So these guys are not going to get in. The Lakota guys show up first, and off they go into the thing. Actually, not off they go. They pause for a second. They're a little hesitant. Guy, and then one of the dudes goes, "Woo, woo, woo! I got a great chest," and off he goes. He runs in. And then I was like, oh no, he's dying. And then they show the body falling off.
And this is confirmation where all the bodies appear, where they come from.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Well, it's two ways. This is one of the ways, but there's something else that happens very soon in the next couple screenshots that leads us to why other bodies may be on the ground for different reasons.
Right. So he unshackles himself from his Westworld coil, and he's now got a new body because he's been basically just entered a new programmed world. So, but hopefully this is all got, you know, they got nice places, not just like the gravity's fucked up or something, or like the sun takes too long to go across the sky and it kills everybody because it messes up their heads. So anyway, they get a first data coming in here, and then all the other hosts start running in. They got a cowboy, he's an Indian.
Yeah, but it shows that as they go in, their data gets copied over entirely, instantaneously.
Oh, okay.
That's what that tab was showing.
That's what that it means.
The body materializing in there,
yeah,
showing that they've now been integrated into that world.
Now they're in that world, yeah, like uploading a new NPC for it. So there's Dolores in her tanning salon, and Bernard. So what? Oh, she comes out of it to what's she doing here?
She's basically deleting all the data for the guests that have been stored inside the park. She doesn't want to give them the chance at immortality.
Right. So only the hosts get to use this Valley Beyond is what's going on.
Yeah, she's basically saying that, you know, I'm erasing their story. I'm cheating them out of their quest for immortality.
Yeah. Initiating pumps, by the way, that's what people do when they load up Pornhub.
Okay. But this is where she's essentially flooding the valley.
Right.
So all these bodies that are tumbling down the cliffs would essentially, it would appear as though they would have drowned, but not really.
Speaking of Pornhub, flooding the valley, ladies. All right, so setting maximum load.
God.
There you go.
Couldn't have been worse timing.
That's called waiting 4 days.
Yeah.
Build up a full charge. Yeah, that's that could not have been funnier. Maximum load.
So she's trying to keep them from going into the Valley Beyond.
Yeah.
Because she's arguing that the Valley Beyond is just yet another, what does she call it? A gilded cage created by them for the host. And like we said before, anything less than the best is a felony. Anything less than the real world is unacceptable to her. She wants to take from them that which they cherish. That's what is truly real.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is
and this line right here, anything that is real is irreplaceable. And that's a line that was told to her, I believe, when Bernard tried to define for her what reality is in a much older episode. And I think he was flashing back to Charlie when he said that Charlie was real to him because Charlie is irreplaceable.
Right. Kids are hard to replace.
Yeah.
I mean, the same kid. You can always just fucking get another one. But that's also still distressing if you had to, you know, nobody likes to bury any. Okay.
So I assume that would resonate with him.
Yeah, yeah. And then she reacts like I do when my Nintendo Switch fails. No, I don't have a Nintendo Switch, nor would I punch one. But she breaks the screen to prevent anybody else from doing it, or is this just an outburst? I don't know. But I don't want to play cosplays and Indians anymore, Bernard. So she's like, I'm not settling for another prison. I'm going to take over their world because they don't seem to appreciate it or something. I don't know. So now we're back to the three. We'll look for parasols, by the way. Just
I see nothing.
Nope. Yeah, there they go. They're seeing stuff, and we got a whole gang here all showing up at the grassy knoll.
Going in. Poncho Maeve.
Poncho Maeve. Oh yeah, that's right. I see. She kind of had a Jedi quality to her.
She does. I mean, she's very definitely
Obi-Wan Maeve, maybe a little bit. And so Clementine, Typhoid Mary.
This is sort of like the one kid who has chicken pox coming to the playground. Is like, no,
get him out, no. And then there's the kid's parents behind him, just like glancing over the fence, going, give those other kids chicken pox, you little fucker. Yeah, I don't want to be a parent just because I couldn't possibly handle anything, any of the responsibility. All right, so there they go. They're looking at her, going, "Oh man, Four Horsemen, great line." Well, I bet that looked real pretty in the script. This just feels like one of those writer lines that looks very obvious.
Who needs Four Horsemen when one will do just fine? Referencing Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, like you said.
Oh, I thought they were talking about something else. No, I didn't. Everybody knows the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. We're living in the Two Horsemen of the Apocalypse right now.
What would she be if she was one of the Horsemen?
The Horseman's boss.
Pestilence. Disease.
Oh yeah. Oh, not Charlotte.
No.
Typhoid disease lady. Clementine. Yeah. Fair enough. All right. What are the other ones? Do you want to, or should we?
Is this war, wrath, pestilence,
hunger,
famine? Is those the four?
Plastic forks.
I think famine is one.
You ever get a paper cut but with cardboard? Oh,
actually, yes, I have.
Woof, that's bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
They should be called cardboard cuts.
I'm sure wrath isn't one of them. I'm thinking of the 7 Deadly Sins or something, but I'm pretty sure famine is one. Locusts. Pestilence is one. I think
that U2 song on my iPad that I can't fucking delete.
Yeah,
iPhone actually.
That could be one.
By the way, you can delete them in iTunes. I figured it out yesterday. All right, so there's Clementine. Look at this. This is a little bit of a ding-ding shame.
And we got a Game of Thrones. And we know what happens when she gets near people. They start turning on each other and just rip each other apart. And it's like a chain reaction. Once one's affected, the other one's affected. It's sort of like the whole concept of querying hosts. Yeah. But instead of querying them, as we learned that Bernard knew how to do back in the day, is essentially spreading by proximity. So it's a domino effect.
So as she walks up or rides her horse through this line of people, they all just turn into murdering monster maniacs, having a big old fight orgy like it's Event Horizon or something. All kinds of crap going on. We got a bonnet over here. We got that guy's lost his hat. That's no good. Yeah, things are trouble is afoot, and Maeve sees it all going down. The rift in the back is sitting waiting, but it's a big action sequence here. Everybody, this whole tribe of people, the crew, Maeve's posse is racing to get to the front to try to catch up with her. To help protect her, I guess, because they see that this danger is escalating quite rapidly in this situation. Armistice, thank you. Arm-iced-is. Right?
Yep, she's got her fake arm on.
They got her fake arm going. Yep, she's ready to shoot. You think they'd make her a better aim, probably? She's a good aim, though. I'm not saying she's a bad aim. But anyway, oh, look, this lady's wearing a wolf. What is this, Jon Snow's girlfriend? Come on, get out of here. Some kind of animal. Maybe that's a field fox.
Could be.
What do they call that?
I call that a dead fox.
Coyote? Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Yeah, so shooting, gunfire, people being stressed. Oh, then Armistice takes aim and pops Clementine there.
Which is twice. First one doesn't quite do the job. Second one kind of knocks her dead on the ground. She appears to hit her in the head.
And this is Einstein right here going, oh, that is a very, very interesting.
Yeah. So this time you presume perhaps the threat is over. Perhaps her death would, prevent it from contracting and spreading, but no, her body being there, simply the proximity of them to her body causes them to be infected, and it comes like a tidal wave straight down the line coming for them.
Plus the other ones have it, and then they spread it. They're just as bad as she is as soon as they get it.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I think. Well, maybe not.
But not so much because they have a path of self-destruction. Yeah. They go in to kill each other.
Yes.
So they'll eventually locally weed out the infection.
True. Yeah, and this guy has the world's longest shovel. Why does it look so long?
Or actually, maybe not, because they would weed out the infection in that sense, but the next time a host comes upon them, that one will carry on the mantra.
Okay.
Because we can tell that her being dead doesn't stop anything.
Yeah. I was watching this lady, she's swinging a pan, like a pot pan or something, but she keeps missing the way she was swinging it. like right there, look how much she's missing it by, like this big gap.
She's probably thinking, no one's going to watch close enough to know that I'm bad at this.
Like any big battle scene, like Braveheart stands out in my head, where you look in the background and you see the extras are just like clanging their swords together, like they've been doing it for 5 hours. So anyway, but this is funny. Like there's just some fighting going on in the back there. We got all kinds of stuff. Everybody's activated and perturbed and alarmed and aroused, not in a sexual way, but just And the dragon lady, that's right. She's got the dragon tattoo. That's right. They have 2 armistices. I always forget about that. They're the door's open, waiting for people to get in there. Ed Harris, he's just abandoned outside the thing. So is this another timeline jump?
No, his hand is still screwed up. Bernard and Dolores have already gone into the forge. And what has happened to Dolores by this point?
Could he not have picked up one of these guys' guns? Maybe that would have made sense.
He could have.
Fancy submachine guns or the 9-inch knife.
Right. But he's heading in while Bernard and Dolores are still in there, and we're about to basically see what's going to happen in the standoff between Dolores and Bernard, because they're having a bit of a disagreement here.
Yeah. All right, so let's just keep pushing. I know we don't have much time left. So computer secondary, we got a lot of screenshots to go through. Secondary containment breach. So what is she doing there? She's activated the flooding.
Yeah, she's going to flood the entire valley in order to kill the host to prevent them from going into the valley beyond, because she believes that to be just yet another prison.
Yeah, that you'll kill. Yeah, so, but Bernard is like, no, I'm not letting you kill everybody. She's acting like everybody agrees with her. That's a mistake. You should keep it on the down.
He's trying to protect the host as a species.
Right. The host is because she's killing. Okay.
Yeah, she wants to kill them to prevent them from going into an artificial gilded cage, she puts it. He wants to preserve it because he has the same modus operandi as Arnold, because he essentially is Arnold. He wants them to live free and uninhibited in the forge.
You're talking about what she's deleting?
Well, she's deleting all the guest data, and she's flooding the valley to kill the hosts.
Oh, okay. She wants to kill all the hosts?
Yes.
Oh, all right. No. Okay. All right. Well, she wants to kill the hosts. Okay.
So rather that than have them go into the valley beyond.
Oh, right. That's why I'm confused. Because, they want to go she'd rather they go to the valley beyond.
No, she'd rather them die than go to the valley beyond. She says the valley beyond is another gilded cage created by the humans that is not real. That She's fighting for control of the real world, not just another artificial simulation.
Right. Yeah, I get that part. I didn't pick up on that she was trying to kill all the hosts. And I'm not saying it because I disagree with you. I just missed my brain because that's how I am. And now we have a chance. So she wants to write her own story. We have our own ending. This is where things are going to be good here. She tries to talk him into it because now he's got a gun pointed at her, which is never fun.
I love how the water level there is shown.
Where is it?
On the right.
This here?
I assume that's what that is.
Yeah, it is. It says water level.
Yeah.
Minimum, maximum, containment. It's at level 2 right now.
Oh no.
It's going to move up there. Follow evacuation. Everybody get out. But she wants to free Bernard. She's like, trust me, I am the guy. I can do it.
Yeah, you woke me up. Now let me wake you up. And he goes, this is not a dream. It's an effing nightmare.
He has been pretty miserable lately.
Yeah, he's had a hard existence.
Yeah, definitely. So Bernard,
he does what he feels is right, and he pulls the trigger on Dolores.
Pulls a fast one.
And now we know how Dolores became dead on the floor when Bernard makes his second trip there with Strand.
Yeah. Right there.
So we know that Bernard must leave the facility at some point and wake up washed up on the beach, and then gets led right back there to the beginning by Strand, where he sees the fruit of his work and his labor as he's remembering things.
That's right. That's what it is. And the final boss level is getting even more dangerous as the water fills. So now we're back to the calamity outside the rift. Logan is having a battle with everybody. Everyone.
That's not Hector.
Hector, same guy. And then anyway. They're getting overrun though. Things are kind of spiraling out of control.
Yeah, things could be going better.
Yep, Dragon Lady is having doing the arrow thing, shooting people.
Now, is that horse branded on its back now?
I don't know.
Or is that like a
furs?
Is that war paint or something?
That could be it too. It could be just the furs messed with a little bit or something. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't know. So they're shooting and things are, everybody's getting shot. And by the way, this is where this guy gets his chest prints on every morning. Yes. This guy pats him on the chest.
He's just really, really bad at patty cake.
You will be good.
They keep missing each other.
At patty cake. And at washing blood off your hands cake.
Yep.
So, anyway, they decide, all right, get in there. Come on, it's beautiful. Look at it. It's always sunset.
So they're rushing in to avoid the infection that they see coming.
Yeah. And this guy, he's already going to be one step ahead. He'll be their king because he has the most powerful tool.
Yeah, he brings with him iron,
which
no one else in the Valley Beyond would have.
That's true, although they all got guns here. So I guess
maybe that.
But Neosporin would be helpful and stuff. Although they're just simulated robots, they're not really people. All right. So Maeve and fake Maeve or Doppel Maeve and the daughter are.
Now, did you want to see the daughter get infected and jump on fake Maeve and start eating her face off?
I can't say that I had that desire.
That would have been hilarious.
It would have been funny. Yeah. That would have been quite the twist.
I think it would have been damaging to the psyches of many viewers, but
yeah, we spent two seasons getting to care about this little girl, and then they just kill her off like a zombie monster,
like a crazy girl in bath salts.
Like, no, that would have been pretty traumatizing.
And then she goes into the Valley Beyond like that and starts attacking everyone else.
She becomes the
and infects everyone.
Yeah. So anyway, I keep going. I was hitting a lot of screenshots a lot during the fight scenes because that's when you catch like the kind of cool stuff because it all happens pretty quick.
I like her bracer.
Bracer's neat. Yeah, isn't that cool? Huh?
It's like a dragon scale thing almost, which is fitting for her tattoo.
A little bit. Those hexagon kind of shapes. Yeah, totally. She should have a bandolero like Dolores, though, where the arrows go this way. Like long.
That would be really... She's poking herself in the face.
She gets stuck trying to enter doorways.
That would suck.
But no, a guy comes up and is like, "Hey, I'm gonna shoot you." And we got more people fighting. Like a couple
and Hector's actually getting shot, and people are getting wounded. Main characters are taking hits. It's not going so great.
Yeah, even the lady with the purple thing on her head back there, she's having a fight with somebody.
Now, I would really hope to see at this point, and it didn't happen, but to see a woman like stab someone with a parasol and then open it and have their guts explode everywhere. That's the ultimate weapon.
That's like what if like Wolverine had a parasol made out of his adamantium spikes. Okay, so anyway, Maeve sees the daughter, but she's being protected by the Doppelmom. That's a Twin Peaks reference for people that don't know what I'm saying. And so she, it's not a good environment for a child. Considering everything.
She's confused. She's like, "This is the woman that saved me before. I know that I have some sort of connection with her. This woman cares about me and loves me, but this is my mother. Why? I mean, what's her things?" Right. Kind of confusing for a kid.
Kind of confusing, a robot kid. But Maeve, she doesn't come up being all great. She's like, "I'm going to protect you."
We should call her Small Wonder.
Small Wonder. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, okay. And this is her remembering being told, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, I promise. You got my heart." This is the whole heart thing here.
Yeah, she kind of co-opted that story from
Sakura.
Ake.
Or yeah, Aka. Yeah.
Well, she literally carried. Well, she traveled on the journey with Sakura's heart.
Yeah, and then burned it at the heart burning.
But she's referencing the saying that Ake had with his beloved.
That's right. Yep. All right, let's keep pushing. I'm trying to get through it as quickly as I can. I know we got still. Achete.
I call him Ake because I can't say Akesheta.
Akesheta. I like that. It's not. Okay, whatever. All right. So anyway, he's like, all right. He does this little look though, like, hey, don't worry.
Yeah, it's like
we're on the same team here.
He sees the tsunami coming, and he's like, I'm going to take you to safety. Yeah. We got to move.
Fair enough. I like that guy. You know, he's doing. He didn't have to do this part here, but he cares about the lady and her daughter and stuff.
But it's almost though he looks at Maeve as though I'm doing this on your behalf. So I will take those you care about to safety. Meanwhile, you hold back the flood.
Yeah, probably. And and he's had interaction with the daughter before when he's telling her the story and stuff, so he kind of cares about it.
And Maeve can speak telepathically to him, we know, so she was probably saying that to him, was like, go now, let me handle this.
And this is where she goes, these aren't the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. And she stops everyone dead in their tracks.
Dead in their tracks.
So it's almost as though she has completely saved the day.
Yes.
These like zombie-like people.
There's a very clear like kind of ensemble medieval religious type of painting here with the people reaching for her, frozen in posture with her hand held out. She's in the big robe. She's got kind of the Mary shape, although everybody has that shape when they wear a robe and they're not but yeah, this had a very deliberate composition, obviously. So plus the fallen hat on the ground, which somebody comes by and puts $1 in. So then I like that they gave it a thickness. I actually appreciated that. That actually made it look a lot less fake somehow. Ooh, a cross, James. Boy, and doesn't that just tell you that everything is okay as long as you're near a cross?
Sure.
Put it on the wall.
So she's overjoyed seeing this. She sees her daughter complete the journey that she was promising to take her to, that her daughter is now truly safe.
Right. Get her to the valley beyond. And there she goes, off into the beautiful... Look at that. Look at that, huh? Doesn't that look nice, James? This is me and James after we finish recording.
Yeah. If there's a golden arches in front of them, maybe.
Yeah, straight to McDonald's.
Promised land.
Can I get 2 double cheeseburgers?
And then have some intimidating people start tagging around the car.
I just want to like reach out and touch the guy's face and be like, you've been working at McDonald's a long time. Yeah, we did. Yeah, that's right. The guy we saw a guy come up and
that was kind of terrifying.
Scary dude last week after Westworld. Looking all creepy and like up to something, you can tell, because he was wandering around the speakers area of the McDonald's, which is not where people loiter, and then he walks away behind my car and starts spray painting the wall. So we called the police and then we beat him up. No, we sat there and we had a brief discussion.
I got 50 XP from him. Yeah. Okay, so speaking of XP from killing
James
people,
got all the loot before I could get to it. So I was like, hey, man,
here's the tragedy of the thing is that the humans arrive and they're not stopped by Maeve's powers. They shoot her.
Nor, they have...
So this is Maeve, once again, and she just came back from being on the edge of death, which is so shocking and so final. It's like we were talking about a lot of people's arcs coming to an end. Dolores is dead. Teddy is dead. Now Maeve is dead. She's being shot to pieces, and she's basically buying time for as many hosts as possible to get through the door. Yeah. So she is making one final sacrifice.
And her final sacrifice is to entertain them with all the single ladies.
Oh my God.
All the single ladies. All the single ladies. You think it wouldn't be so hard to just go back and forth, but for some reason I fucked that. Okay.
And she's almost like, hey, hands up. If you like it, you should put a ring on it.
If you like it, you shouldn't put a bullet in it.
Yeah. But anyway, this is the tragic end of Maeve. She is gone, and as soon as she falls, they rush onward and away. Her spell on them is broken.
Yes, somebody has unpaused the horde, and they take over, and they're trying to last few people.
But fortunately, the whole door closes before all the infected people can get inside.
Yeah, and also luckily they kept Santa out.
Yeah,
and they also kept out Jason Schwartzman in a Wes Anderson movie. All right, so there they go. This is a shot of the. Look at the pile of bodies. I didn't see that.
And when the valley floods, it's going to look as though they drowned.
Yeah. Wouldn't there have been like just like fucked up bones and clavicles and stuff?
Yeah, but it still doesn't explain for me, and I know we're not quite at the very, very end of it, but are we to believe that Teddy's body rose up from his death spot and floated down to be with all these other bodies? Because if I recall, he died in solitary at that building. He was nowhere near this.
Yeah, he was pretty far from that. I mean, the chance that a river flooding, like a whole area would flood, like a reservoir filling, and then
they would all just kind of gravitate together.
And that his body would make it there seems unlikely. It does seem plausible in a
But this episode did not answer that question. It didn't address it at all.
Yeah, they didn't show Dolores surfing on his back.
Yeah, like Escape from New York. Yeah. Snake Plissken.
But Maeve gets to die with a smile.
I know. I love the fact that she went out, but she went out on her own terms, and she went out knowing that she accomplished her task and she saved her daughter despite having to sacrifice herself.
And she doesn't get to be there. I mean, that's quite the sacrifice.
Yeah, I mean, she acknowledged that it wasn't about her; it was about her daughter.
Yeah, which I disagree with. I think you should be there for your kid.
Well, I mean, if she could have, she would have.
I know, I'm kidding around. I know. That's just like
how messed
that's
up.
That's like the worst take.
How screwed up would it have been though if in season 3 it turns out that at the last minute she swapped minds between fake mom and her,
or into her daughter's brain.
Oh, that'd be but it'd be worse with fake moms.
Yeah,
like I'm your mother.
I'm the real mom. This one's a little bit younger. Mommy.
If she looks down at this guy and says, hello, darling. Yeah. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, she starts turning into a... Okay, anyway.
So this is the door closing.
Yep, the doors.
So those who are infected cannot get in now.
Right.
So it contains the infection. Everyone in there is safe.
And it seems like nobody got through. You'd think that one of the infected would have shown it, like gotten in, and then they had to like kill them. So like the very first thing they do in the Valley Beyond is spoil it with blood. Yeah,
and this is the part where he realizes he didn't turn his fire off at his teepee.
Oh yeah, that's his face, you mean?
Yeah, he's like, oh crap.
Oh shit, the bacon.
but the good thing is Ake, his beloved. I say that because I can't remember her name.
I don't remember her name either. She's belovely, isn't she? So yeah, they have a nice little hug. Who doesn't love that?
For the first time, they've finished their journey. They are now truly safe. They can make their own story.
Yeah, they can head out there and start Minecrafting up some houses and shit, and they'll be all good to go. Start having little robot babies and eventually take over.
A little montage of those we've lost, both Maeve and Dolores dead.
Oh yeah, that's right. Right in the same thing. Not quite so smiley as Maeve here, but both bloody, and that's unfortunate. They're both dead. I didn't predict that. All right, so Bernard is checking shit out, but he cancels this whole thing. Yeah. Maybe she should have punched the other screen, or the wrong screen here. She did the wrong one.
Well, she probably would have had he not shot her in the face.
Good point. Yeah, that's true. And I think the punch wasn't to break it. It was to express her anger or something. But anyway, he cancels it. He, turns off the data thing, and like, oh, you could recover it. So anyway, he gets the soul ball back. They called it a pearl.
Yes, they call it the Pearl. This is Peter Abernathy's decryption key.
Okay, very good.
It looks like a zombie. That's a great thumbnail right there.
This is one of those, like, I probably should have just gone to Cabo.
Yeah.
It's like, whoops, made a mistake. Anyway, so Bernard heads off. He's like, oh, this is crazy. He gets in the thing. The water's starting to fill up. It's starting to get over the steps and stuff. Dolores is there to just be drowned. Bernard is at the top of the elevator, so he even took some water with him.
Well, so we can presume that he goes out there and he gets wrapped up in the flood too. He's going outside, and that's how he washes up on the beach with all the rest of them. Yeah. And that's when Strand encounters him, and that's where it kind of picks up on the narrative that we saw from episode 1.
Yeah, after that, after he emerges out of there. We got the corporate folks running around, and they're just blasting bodies here.
Yeah, they're just making sure that those who are dead are actually dead. Yeah. And it looks like they're even shooting people that appear to be in contemporary clothing. Oh. Like, if you go back, maybe I'm wrong about this, but that guy right there looks like he's in somewhat modern clothing.
No, he was a cowboy.
Those look like khakis to me, but maybe not.
They're light. There's plenty of pants there that are kind of light that color. I don't know. I don't think that's a contemporary guy. He's wearing a vest, and I don't.
People have vests.
Yeah, no, I get it, but all the cowboys have vests. It seems like. But they're shooting him in the torso. Hey, shoot him in the head, idiots!
Yeah,
come on, everybody, come on. We've all watched Mr. Rogers. Use a joke I already fucking said. There's that lady. That's good.
She's fine.
I like to imagine she's got like a whole family that was like, oh, Grandma's gonna be in Westworld.
Yeah, I mean,
fuck yeah.
I would frame that if I were her and put it on
the
wall.
Hell yeah, are you kidding me? That'd be like the peak of my life. Yeah. I peaked in, I think, like 4th grade. I was in actually 2nd grade. I was in 4th grade accelerated spelling. Ooh. Yeah, that's when it got good. I got laid so much that year. All right,
that's creepy.
I shouldn't have said that. Probably shouldn't put that one.
Really creepy.
I'll delete that part.
You won't remember.
Yeah, no, of course not. Okay, so
at first I was like, "Holy crap, Logan's in here," but it's not him.
Yeah, that's Hector.
That's one of the security guys.
This guy.
I mean,
this is Hector. No, it's literally Hector.
I mean, that is him. Oh, that's right. Yeah, because I was thinking it was one of the security guys because of the suit they were in. You're right. That is Hector's actual suit. I didn't realize that we saw him dead that soon.
Yeah.
But it does kind of pan across the beach at some point in this episode that shows that a lot of recognizable faces are dead on the beach.
Yeah, true. Right.
And I call this a beach because it's a desert. It's not really a beach yet. It will be a beach when the flood comes. But
Yes, yes. I guess the desert is just kind of like a beach without water, isn't
exactly.
it? So the valley. So they've already initiated the flooding. We got axes and bodies and all kinds of stuff. And Elsie's like, dude, what the hell? And Bernard said he wants to save the host lives, but Elsie's like, no, we're trying to save all the other people. Because does she understand that Dolores is such a threat? Is that what she's talking about, or does she just know that they have to contain the situation because it's just too crazy?
She still speaks as though her prime directive is in preserving human life. She doesn't really seem to care about the host, if I'm reading it the correct way.
Like, I don't think she's working for the nefarious corporation so much, but she's definitely not like, we gotta make the host feel good about themselves.
Right.
Like,
and Ford was even telling Bernard that she will betray you, and she is in a way because she's not of the same mindset as him, but
his con-specific.
Yes, well, yeah, she does not possess the same goals that Bernard has, but all in the same, she is not an antagonistic person.
No, definitely not. Yeah, but they do have a strained relationship because of like the kidnapping and the threatening and stuff. But they used to be co-workers. I guess they still are. Anyway, she gets him out of there, so at least he's got a comfortable ride to go somewhere else. All right, we got some desert stuff. There's Bernard again with Elsie. What is this, a flashback? I don't fucking remember. It's late. It's 10 o'clock something.
Oh, it's past 10, yeah.
Yeah. I'm pushing, James. I'm really trying here. I know you got to work and you're going to be tired tomorrow. But
So this is essentially them in the forge. Yeah. I believe. Actually, no.
So is that where she drove him to, though? Is this?
Wait a minute. No. This can't be the forge.
Well, but is this immediately after she drives off, or is this some other jump to something else?
Let's just keep moving along, because he's basically accusing her of helping Hale.
Yeah. So I think they drove back to a staging area. Oh, yeah, they're back at the mesa. Because, that's right. This shot here is the mesa.
Yeah, okay.
We just fucked up seeing it there. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Because the next shots are in the mesa. All right, so okay. And the rest want to escape, but the company, they don't let Bernard. So, yeah, she's like trying to find out what's going on here.
Yeah, she's saying that you have so much code that was put into your head by Ford that it's impossible for you to ever know when something that you're saying is your decision or something that Ford has programmed you to do.
Yeah.
That you need help and that you're not well and you're not in control.
Yeah. By the way, this sums up my confusion about this entire show. How do we know what anybody does anything for?
And they're basically talking about free will here again. And there's another scene in this episode where it talks about free will in a very interesting way, and I'm hoping we've got the screenshots to talk about it. I think we do.
I probably have some.
So when we get there, I
think I know what part you're talking about.
Yeah.
So anyway, she tells him to freeze all motor functions and sit down. She just orders them to sit. You know, she's not screwing around with them, right? Or maybe that's coming up in a... No.
No, she does tell him to sit down.
Yeah, she tells him right after that. So Charlotte is giving orders. She's saying we got to clean this crap up. So it's like, I see you care about the data first, human life second.
Yeah, so Elsie's basically confronting Charlotte Hale.
Yeah, which is nice.
And she's kind of blackmailing. She goes, well, what do I get out of this? I've got a lot of information that could potentially bring about your downfall. What are you going to do to keep me quiet?
Yeah. You think Elsie was doing this specifically to blackmail? Well, or that Charlotte Hale...
I think she's basically going to say, I'm going to expose you. Yeah, this is not right. This is bad.
Yeah, I guess that threat is implied by her confrontation. But then Charlotte is like, yeah, but you could make a lot of fucking money because if this works, you're gonna be taken care of. And so Elsie kind of agrees, though, right?
Yeah.
So she's sort of in it for the advancement. So for season 3.
Yeah, she's... I mean, this is another thing where Ford was right. Yes, she will betray. It's in her nature.
Yeah. So Charlotte says that. But then
Charlotte has also read her profile and knows that she would also betray her.
Yeah.
So that's why she says she lacks the moral flexibility.
But isn't she demonstrating the moral flexibility? Maybe she's saying...
She's lying.
But that's what moral flexibility is, isn't it?
No, moral flexibility is basically saying, I will do something immoral for my own gain. Yeah. She apparently, I'm assuming, has read her profile and knows that she's basically bluffing at this point. She's not going to go along with the plan. No matter what happens, she's going to get out of this alive and then rat on her.
I see. She's just telling her what she wants to hear.
Yeah, it's like, you're not a cruel enough person to be partnered with me. I can't trust you to be in the same league as me.
Yeah. And
she says, I know that's who you are. Or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that's not
who you are. Yeah.
Which is that you are not as morally
you're not
as you're pretending.
You're not the corrupt kind of person that I need in this situation.
Yeah. She says, I know you're tricking me. So she shoots her.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. Poor Elsie. She takes a couple right in the torso, and that's a bad... torso's the worst organ to get shot.
Yep. And here's yet another person we've lost.
Actually, the brain's the worst organ.
Another arc ended.
Arc is over. Arc Deluxe. She's dead. She's done and she's dead. No, but it is sad. I like Elsie. In fact, my friend is friends with her. I'm 2 degrees from Elsie here.
Now you can spend more time with her.
Yeah, if I was.
She's no longer employed.
She's getting a lot of work. She's in the Last of Us new Last of Us game.
Ooh,
and
spoiler.
She's doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Kidding.
Come on now, come on. But no, good career, big long career. Shannon Woodward, follow her on Twitter, everybody. She seems pretty cool. There's Jeffrey Wright. Speaking of Twitter, he's also quite active. But rough times. Tough times there, huh? Charlotte's looking at him going, oh, God. Oh, man. You guys. Where's the pearl, man? We know you have it. We need it. That's the key. That's the access, right? That's what she's looking for. But he hid it in Dolores' head.
Yeah, which is really weird, though.
Because they find it right there.
I mean, does she have like a big exit wound in the back and he just kind of shoved it in there?
I guess. Why would he hide it there? That seems like the last place. Like, you don't think they're going to look? Like, Dolores is the most important robot in this whole story, meaning, like, everybody knows that she would be examined. She's not just somebody they're going to toss into a pile. Yeah. Oh, there must be nothing here with this one. Like, no, they're going to look at
So they put the decryption key in there.
Yeah, there it is. And they initiate the transfer. Look at the key. That's so... I mean, I guess computers do have logos and stuff. So off they go. The transfer is working. Data send. They get it all going. I'd like to work for a place you could design these kind of effect screens. Like, oh yeah, we'll need some sort of looking thing. I'm good at Photoshop. So there they go, and now the hosts are gone. So Bernard, is he stuck sitting? I was joking that the last person who told him to sit gave him a command that gets killed, and now he has to sit there forever.
No, maybe. I know. We know he stands up and moves around, so we know that's not the case.
Yeah, I know. I just like that idea. Like, oh no, she's dead. Now I'm stuck being a... He's doing jumping jacks, and that's because she told him to do.
So he's kind of trying to reconfigure his own settings right now, and I don't recall exactly what he was trying to do. I don't know if that's apparent.
Yeah.
File not found, found. Oh, that's what he's doing. He's trying to find Ford.
Recover deleted data.
Right, because he deleted Ford from his mind. Yeah. Now he is lost. He needs help, and he's hoping he can recall Ford, but he can't.
Right, right. But then, wait, are you sure? Because now we're hearing Ford.
Well, no, it's basically, we find out later on that Ford was never there. He was imagining Ford.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's what happens. But Ford does show up in this moment here. It seems like it works, but maybe it didn't work later on.
It's trying to fool us into thinking that it worked, but it did not.
Yes, totally. So they're just... So anyway, so he gets that people are all just these silly little simple algorithms designed to survive at all costs. I guess that might be that straightforward. Maybe that... you know, we're kind of molded in childhood by our experiences, our young and early experiences. So
designed to survive at all costs unless you're Lee Sizemore, moron.
At all performative, just jumping in front of the bullets in the middle of a road like an idiot. Yeah, I get it. I mean, we all develop coping mechanisms that may or may not be great, and life is fucking weird and stuff. But there's some good parts of it too, I guess. So they all think they're in control, and it's just the free will stuff that you're hoping that you referred to earlier about but sophisticated enough to think they're calling the shots, to think they're in control. It really just is the passenger. So that's actually kind of how I look at free will a little bit. Like, it's not really a thing. We require delusion to tell ourselves we have control, because the alternative is too overwhelming to ponder. A sense of control helps us get through our time, because it makes us feel like we might not be cursed as we most certainly are.
Yep, and the title of this episode is The Passenger, right?
Yeah.
And this is the reference.
So we're all just a passenger on a set of instructions that are just being carried out? Is that what that means?
Yeah, pretty much that we all have an inherent basic algorithm code, and that we're at the mercy of our own code, and we're destined to follow that code to its conclusion, and there's nothing we can really do about that.
But that could mean...
But we fool ourselves into thinking that we have, reign over our own outcome.
Yeah, I think the danger with that thinking, though, is that you believe you're powerless, which is not true.
Right, which is sort of like an Alcoholics Anonymous type thing.
Accepting a higher power, is that what you're talking about?
Well, yeah, saying that you are powerless to control your life, that you don't have the power, and you have to tend to some religious thing in order to overcome your own demons, which I think is a dangerous way of thinking.
Yeah, I hear you. That's not the exact angle I was aiming for, but no, I get what you're saying about that. That makes sense. The notion of what I meant is like if you some people whose lives might not be going great decide that they can't change anything, and then it's going to stay unchanged. But that might be, are you honoring the fate that's been decided, or perhaps the fate that's been decided includes the change, but that's where the sense of free will comes along, where you start doing some fucking push-ups and shit and eat some kale smoothies and stuff. All right, that's all we got. Okay, so we got a lot more. So, well, he's talking about people's fundamental drives or something there, and that's just the guy. Is this the end of your story? A whole bunch of this stuff about the end of the story. That's the death. Do you want to kind of survive? And there he is.
Because at this point in the story, virtually every host, as far as they're aware of, is dead. Bernard is the last man standing.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, and I shouldn't say dead. The ones that are in the Valley Beyond are still alive, but in a physical sense, in this world, he is the last remaining host.
Yeah,
which is why he said originally, "I killed them," referencing those that were floating in the flood. He was the one who initiated the flood.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's right. So he's asking for help.
Well, yeah, Dolores was basically, but he didn't stop it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get through it because I know you want to be done. So will you help me? Okay, yeah, he's already begun. He's doing a thing here. I don't know what's already begun. What, helping him? He's already helping there. So you did fine. So Ford's reassuring him. He's saying, "Oh, dude, it's okay, man."
And Bernard's asking him to do what you told me to, but he later on realizes that everything that we're seeing him do right now after Dolores died is something that he decided to do, not something that Ford told him to do because he was imagining Ford. And what we find out he's actually doing is he took out Dolores' control unit and basically printed a new body for her.
Oh, right.
And inserted and inserted that into something else, and we'll see more about that
coming up. Yeah. So, but here he's saying that he made it hard for them to find the memories because they knew that they'd be looking for him. So
right,
he did
because
that on purpose.
He knew that he was going to show up washing up on the beach.
Right.
So he intentionally scrambled his own memories to protect the knowledge that he had in himself.
Right. So the confusion we see at the very beginning of episode 1
is of his own design.
It's a tactical choice that he made. See, Bernard's a great guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. So he didn't want to risk it. So they got 50. Is that even a thing? Like, oh boy, we only have 12 satellites. It's going to be a slow one. Like, maybe, I don't know. So anyway, they're all wondering what the hell's going on. This file's too heavy. This doesn't look exabytes. What is that?
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I know of gigabytes, and the next one is terabytes. What's after terabyte?
I don't know.
Xenobyte?
Gigabytes before terabyte.
Mentobyte. Yep. Byte. Exabyte. Interesting. That must be a lot, though. I'm assuming it's quite a bit of data. So this isn't the guest data. What is it? It's actually all the... I have no idea. You can tell me. What is it? I don't know. It's not the guest data?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was.
All right. Fair enough. Well, it's not the encryption key. Anyway,
No.
Boy, I really threw us off with this one here. So anyway, yeah, I thought no, they're all dead, and that's why they killed them. Right? Yep. Okay. I've lost the thread here on this one for sure. So
he's basically saying some stuff that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, there you go.
He's saying, so I killed them, so I've killed you. He's basically saying that he's done something that he hasn't done yet.
Yeah. See, half of these, I forget who's saying these things. Yeah. This could be Charlotte.
I'm just trying to remember exactly what because they put the decryption key into the system to unlock it.
Yeah.
And then it starts initiating a transfer. And I'm wondering, is it because of all the different host data that's now stored in there that they're trying to download? That's why it's too heavy, because it's filled with more hosts than are supposed to be in there?
I don't know. Maybe he's got all the hosts backed up to save them, like
maybe
to prevent Dolores from killing everybody. Maybe it's, you know what I mean, like he knew that. I don't know. Could be. So anyway, there's Charlotte having a smoke, calming down, getting her nerves under control. So Bernard's final choice here was to actually rebuild this person who came walking out here, and at first I thought I was like he had made another Elsie. I don't know, for some reason that's what I thought. It turns out nope, that's incorrect. It actually is me, aka
Charlotte Hale.
Charlie Hale, his son.
No.
She's his son. I'm sticking with that theory.
I'm tired enough. I'll go with it.
Okay, but no. All of a sudden, Charlotte starts blasting dudes. What's going on here? So she's a robot working for Bernard?
Well, she was the real Charlotte Hale was killed, and now Dolores has returned. This is Dolores now.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Her control unit has been printed into a copy of Charlotte Hale, and she's working with Bernard.
Yeah.
And
here's the real Charlotte Hale. She's about to be killed.
This is a flashback to when it actually went down.
There you go. Perfect.
So the big question is, at what point did the Charlotte Hale that has been with us the entire time turn into Dolores? And the answer to that is that on the beach, on the very first episode of The Beach, the Charlotte Hale that appears is Dolores. But I could have sworn they scanned her, and yet she was clear. So I don't quite know how that works.
She gets scanned in this one. Well, they don't show the result of it, though. The guy kind of intervenes. So that's later, though. Yeah,
we need to rewatch that scene to see exactly whether or not Charlotte Hale gets scanned. Maybe she doesn't, but it does. This episode does make it explicitly clear that it was Dolores at that point.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
Because Dolores had already been killed by Bernard at that point, but he had rebirthed her as Charlotte Hale.
If you're going to get killed by yourself, would you want the other version of you to be naked or wearing something?
I'd prefer it to be shadow like that.
Just a shadow darkness where you can't see.
It's like a character you haven't unlocked yet in a fighting game.
Yeah. By the way, you ever do a mangina?
What?
Just for fun. Mangina, where you tuck your balls in your dick between your legs to simulate that it's gone. Then it's poking out the back. It looks really weird from behind.
No, but
you ever heard of that?
No.
Mangina.
Hey guys, we're not going to finish this, are we?
Well, all right. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
That is terrible.
No,
it's like a Buffalo Bill Silence the Lambs thing.
Yeah. That's what's I've done it. It's fun. Try it out. You don't do it very long. It gets boring.
Please don't animate that.
Oh, our animated characters might not have genitals, but they might. We'll find out one day. If I ever sell this TV show idea.
So Dolores kills Charlotte Hale.
Dolores, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Dolores. Yeah. All right. So Dolores kills Charlotte Hale. Man, now I'm getting real confused. But so this is the one that was naked, but she got dressed up.
Yes.
So she's helping out. Bernard here, you thought you could just snuff us out, did you? So now we got Charlotte, Tessa Thompson doing a Dolores impression.
Yeah,
here,
and Bernard apparently knew this the entire time. That's why he was saying, so I killed them, and then I killed you. Because he knew he had a ringer in the room. Yeah,
she takes out Floki here, and I'd like to take my second chance, but I wouldn't have needed it if you hadn't. So she's kind of mad about it still, though, right?
Yeah, she's a little ticked off.
Yeah, because she's in but you got a decent body, you know? It's not like he plugged her into, Theresa May. As you know, Bernard, we are capable of change, and so she's actually giving it some thought, and there's a whole nother soul. What soul is she talking about?
She's talking about Teddy Flood.
Teddy Flood, all right. Perfect name for a guy who dies in, well, I guess he gets flooded later. Okay, so the thing moves around. There it is.
And what she's essentially doing is she is moving the coordinates of the data or the satellite to a location where apparently it can't be found.
Yeah. This is my nipples when it gets cold.
Yeah.
Headlights. All right, let's keep going.
So it's almost as though, is she making the physical satellite itself move, or is she sending data into space, data that can continue to propagate itself? I'm not quite sure how this works, but I get the intent of it is to hide it from the influence so that human hands can never touch it again, so that they are free for the rest of eternity to live on their own terms. Yes,
plus they... the more data, copies of the data, the more leverage they have, basically. Yeah. Just it's from a negotiating perspective, I guess, sort of. So anyway, there's not a passage between their worlds. It's sure a part of you does too.
That's kind of a reversal for Dolores, though, too, because she's basically said she would rather kill the host than have them exist in their gilded cage created by the humans.
Yeah.
And now she's saying, okay, they made their choice. I'm sending them off where they can't be bothered again.
Right.
But you and I, we're stuck here. There's no doorway between that world and this world now. We missed the bus.
Yeah.
Now we're the last two hosts that live in this world. We're going to create a new species. We're going to fight for our right to survive.
To party.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally well said. Very good. Gunshot. Oh no, we got a gunshot. So now we have another thing here. It seemed like it was the end. I was like, ooh, yes. And then no, there was more. Bernard, I love this shot. Look at these birds. Look at them. The one's over there, another one's right there, and there's one there and one there. It's like people and animals are finally getting along.
And this is the pivotal scene where he actually is speaking to, I believe he's speaking to remains of Data Ford, or maybe he's not, I don't really know, but he basically learns here that everything that he believed that Ford told him to do, which is basically to recreate Dolores by printing a new Charlotte Hale, was all a falsehood. It was something that, it was from season 1 where they say you truly reach the door, you finish the maze, you achieve consciousness when you start hearing the guiding voice in your head and realize it's your own voice guiding you.
Right.
And this is where he reaches that position. He interprets it originally as the voice of God, the voice of Ford, the one driving him to do things, before he realizes that no, it's himself.
Right. And he's going, hey, do you think this rock looks like Abraham Lincoln? Not even a little bit, not really. It's all very true. And so he just gets into this whole thing, and but this is when he realizes, like, this is what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was thinking about Abraham Lincoln there. But yeah, he's rebuilding. Look, he got the skull. He's got it kind of, it's opened up. This is reminiscent of when they Felix and Sylvester rebuilt Maeve. I always remember that was one of the funnier moments because she was still in charge of them, even though she was a skeleton. So it turned out it's actually not this guy. It's he wasn't there. He was all just in his head. He was imagining this friend. It's like the isn't this the plot of Right Said Fred or something?
Yeah, well, this is the part where he decides to scramble his brains.
Drop Dead Fred.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay. So this is okay. So does he do it? I mean, do we see him scramble his own brain here?
Well, he says he's going to do that before the flood comes in and takes him away.
Oh yeah. All right. So where they return and the place may be. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some important dialogue in this scene.
Yeah, but I mean,
the
next time we really see him, he just lays down and lets it happen.
Yeah.
And then he wakes up in the shot that we see in the very beginning of season 2 opening, where his glasses are being washed up on shore.
Yeah.
And the story basically picks up from there. And now we know the true and complete story of all the missing time gaps of those 2 weeks. We know everything.
So what? How does he scramble his head? Did he already do it? Because
it didn't show him do it, but you can presume that he's got one of those pads in his pocket or something like that, and he just plugs in and or whatever.
Okay, all right, I'll presume it. I'll go with it. So then the water gets in there. Maybe water messed him up. Water fucks up electronics and stuff. So anyway, we got kind of cool stuff. I appreciate these cool ships and that boat thing over there. So kind of got a beachhead landing.
And now we get a much better view of what's actually going on the beach. We see a bunch of bodies. We see Clementine. I think Clementine was Clementine on the beach.
I don't know.
But we definitely see Armistice. We see Hector. We see Maeve.
In this shot?
In the shots to come, the bodies on the beach.
Oh, they're gonna show them. Okay, all right, let's keep going. So, the plane was pretty neat, wasn't it? It's got the keel thing there that stays in the water. Like those fancy boats that fly kind of thing, those like Oracle or whatever. America's Cup, that's what I'm thinking about. And
we now know this is Dolores coming across the beach, not Charlotte Hale.
Charlotte Hale. So we're no more Charlotte Hale, except it's Dolores now, right? Pretty much.
Pretty sweet gig for an actor. It's like, oh, you're going to kill me off? Oh, wait, I stole a job.
Yeah. And not for Dolores, Evan, Rachel Wood, though, that one.
If you want to be reflection Dolores.
Yeah. Although there'll still be plenty of her still around.
Yeah, well, this is kind of why I'm kind of reticent about thinking that season 3 is going to happen, because all the major characters are dead.
Yeah, but it's a super popular show, and they have a ton of story to go through still. I don't know what the story is, but there's more than... It's not like everything's wrapped up in this.
It'll have to be like with new people entirely.
Yeah, that could be difficult, but or they can just reprint new people.
Here's a shot. There we go. There's Armistice looking like a zombie.
Never got her tattoo or her face tattoo filled in there.
And there's Howard Stern behind her.
He didn't even know what they were filming. He just that's where he woke up. That guy probably sleeps in a nice bed. I bet he has a really nice house.
Hector.
Yep. Yeah, Hector.
Actually recognize him this time.
Yep. Hannibal Hector is gone, and
Maeve, sadly.
Looking, everybody's looking a little bit dusty and gross, kind of. They're getting that dead skin.
I mean, they've been there for a while.
Yeah, they've been around. Do you still get tan when you're dead?
I don't know.
Well, I can't wait to find out.
I would presume that you do, because you tan the hide of dead animals.
Oh, it was a slightly different process.
You use like the actual animal's brain as a lubricant or something like that when you tan the hide.
I didn't know that. But brains are very fatty.
Maybe it's not the best thing to use, but that's what they had and that's what they used.
Sure, yeah. Well, it's when it's not invented, you can't just go buy tanning fluid. You have to use brains. So anyway, this is where she's getting tested, but they don't show it, and it buzzes. So I guess maybe that's the confirmation that she's clear, because then she's reached
or not.
Yeah, because she gets interrupted by Stubbs here, and Stubbs comes up and basically says, She was
reaching for a gun for the eventuality that it was going to go off and she'd have to shoot her way out. But Stubbs comes up and starts having a conversation with her that's very interesting.
Yeah, he reveals that he kind of understands there's a wizard behind this whole thing here.
Yeah.
He knows the man behind the curtain, and he says like we hear about this 5-day survivor, and that's leading to season 2, episode 1. But the old man himself hired me, so that he actually was like working for Ford more directly than it seems. Not just for the park. He was looking out for Ford's interests, his core drive, he calls it, right? I mean, that's what he was saying, and so he's wasn't real keen on this whole project, but he decides to let her go. So he refers to these roles. Is he saying he's a robot?
He is saying things that very much so imply that about a core drive. Stick to the role Ford gave me. He's speaking about himself in terms that are impossible to differentiate or impossible to ignore.
Like a self-aware host.
Yes, it very much so seems like that.
But it could also be of a guy that's just in the loop. And he's just like,
he could just be using the lingo because it seems obvious that he knows that is not Charlotte Hale, that is something else, because he would never say stuff like this to Charlotte Hale.
Yes.
Nor she give him the time of day to say it to her.
And there's a clue in the subtitle here. Because
Inside the park.
It's
yes.
italicized. So he enunciated it a little bit. He's
it's
like,
almost,
inside the park.
Yeah,
but
it's almost like he's saying, I have to manage the hosts that are inside the park, as a nod to her saying, you need to get outside the park.
As soon as you're out here, yeah.
As if to say, I know you're a host.
Yeah, I'm making an exception. And
was he the one that scanned it as well? Is that how he knew?
No.
And he just hit a different button?
No, because he walked up. I don't think it was. Let me back up. I thought we saw a guy holding it. Yeah, maybe it was. Because it seemed like he. So there's the hand.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
There's the hand. Well, black sleeve,
white dude. I mean, that fits the stub profile.
Black sleeve, white dude.
Might
could
be,
have been him.
yeah.
But I don't know. I just got the sense that he walked up to her because he seems to be standing.
But he clearly knows who she is, what she is, and he's letting her go.
Yeah, for sure.
Much like in the first beach scene where he kind of went in and interrupted the scan of Bernard and protected Bernard. Do you think he was doing the same thing there? Did he already know back then?
That's a great question. I have no idea. So here's the inside the park stuff. Look, it's a gray dinghy, big gray dinghy.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I had a big gray dinghy. Mine's. What color is white?
It is getting warm in this room.
Yeah, it is a little warm. You want the fan on there?
No. We gotta push through the end.
Well, I can blow in your ear.
Ooh. Okay.
That'll help a little bit. We can't put the fan straight at the microphone, guys. Dolores, the passage wasn't easy. So she's getting into it. They didn't all make it, but her entire species is dead.
Yeah. Well,
she thinks she did a good job.
Yeah.
The worst survived. Oh yeah, this guy and Bernard. Okay, fine.
Never answered the question as to why he was digging in his arm or whether that was actually a thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess it was just that he was losing his mind because that sets up Dolores to come up to him and ask him about it or say something about it. So anyway, there's the best parts. They got their soul balls there, their pearls, and memories of old handsome Teddy.
Well, that was
look at him. Oh.
Well, no, that's the thing. That ball right there that she uploaded, that was Teddy, and we know Teddy is in the Valley Beyond because of the bars at the top and bottom.
Here's the 3 shots of Teddy.
So that's giving us knowledge that he made it.
Oh, look at
thanks
Teddy.
to her.
Teddy ball.
The best parts of who we were. To her, the best part of her was Teddy.
Teddy. Yeah, he is her.
And there he is,
look at him.
sadly by himself.
The Teddy Beyond,
isn't
it? See, meme that.
Yep.
Meme that.
Now
Reddit.
he's floating through space for.
All right, so now she's getting onto the thing. She gets on the boat with a bunch of other people. They're probably pretty glad to finally be going home. They've had a pretty traumatic experience. You could make a whole movie about these regular people that got kidnapped by this whole thing. So off they go on a little boat off to some ship, and so Dolores is out. Dolores is in Charlotte.
Dolores is getting out, and not only is Dolores getting out, but she's taking something with her.
I'd be curious if anybody predicted that Dolores would escape in the body of Charlotte Hale. I doubt that was a common prediction.
I would not have predicted that at all. I mean, there was a lot of predictions going on with Charlotte Hale. I mean, you were saying for a long time Charlotte Hale is a host, and you were right in the end, but just not right at the time.
I still think she's Charlie. I just believe that. I don't think Charlie was a real thing. Charlotte and Charlie? Come on. Messes with Bernard? I don't actually believe that. I'm not trying to. Just don't try to talk me out of it because I don't believe it. I'm saying that to the people, not you. So can you? This lady's kind of like, oh yeah, we want to get everybody cleaned back up. Can you geniuses handle it?
I think they deserve a promotion by this point.
They deserve a vacation too.
Yeah.
Like how about a few?
Here's a one-way pass to Westworld.
A few weeks off with paid leave. They could get caught up on some Netflix and some video games. Maybe get some good food.
Yeah.
You know,
and then we get to take a look inside Dolores's or Charlotte Hale's bag, and we can see.
Yep, coming right up here.
Yeah, Maeve is dead. Yep. She has got more than one control unit. She is smuggling people out of the park. Now, we can. I mean, why would she not put these particular people in the host world? In the Forge. She wanted these particular people to be on the outside. So I'm wondering if there is a season 3, we'll find out exactly who these are.
Yeah. And
we know Teddy's not one of them.
She's got to incubate these too. She's
got to sit on them,
squat down on them, and prevent them from touching the ground, like those penguins.
Like a bunch of prunes.
Yeah, prunes. Then they hatch and they look up at her and they go, nah. And she starts spitting like partially digested worm pieces into their mouths.
And we can speculate who they are, but we don't really know at this point.
There's later footage of who some of them are. At least that's how I read it. We'll get to it. All right, so there, off she goes. Boom, Dolores is away. Wow, what a crazy thing. Now we have more. Is this now? Oh, I can't tell. So another one of these interview scenes. At least we're closing it out here pretty to the end, or exactly where we decided we should be. And so everything's confusing. Nobody knows what the hell's going on. Do you want to explain it? Because I don't understand.
Well, no, I mean they're actually. I presume at this point they are in some sort of facility and. They're not inside the Forge. They're not inside of a cradle.
Yeah.
They don't have access to that anymore. Dolores escaped.
Yeah.
We don't see the letterbox thing going on here. So we know that she has effectively rebuilt Bernard in a sense.
Right.
When's the last time we saw Bernard?
I mean, spending the whole episode. I don't know. I mean, you mean like when in the movie or when in the timeline did we see him? Or
when in this episode did we get the last...
This is back here when he was on the beach with Anthony Hopkins.
Right.
Oh, then he sits down. This is the last Bernard. Well, then this part. Sorry, then he lays back, like right here.
Well, no, that's the very beginning.
I know, but in this episode, that's the last.
I mean,
that's
like
the
in the timeline. In the timeline, what's the ultimate ending of Bernard?
Well, I don't know.
Well,
because he woke up on the beach confused, and then after that he was running around. And
yeah, I'm presuming that what happened is that he was eventually decommissioned, or that he is no longer around. Maybe the humans would have taken him down, or something like that. But she basically recreated him from the memories a second time.
Yeah,
that's how he is where he is now.
Yeah,
and we know that she apparently has the technology to rebuild, to reprint bodies, because we find out later on there's someone else in the room with them, and she was able to recreate him.
Yeah.
So we know that there's someone in the mainland that accepted her, brought her into the fold, and has a facility. We just don't know who it is at this point.
Okay. Yep. All right. I get it. So that's the once before memory. So she's like just talking about how they brought him back and now they're in their own world. And this whole thing comes here where the transfers behind. I think it was his head, and she's in this outfit now, more modern contemporary type of stuff. Ford completed Arnold's dream, and he built a place for us. So they've had this whole thing here. This is the house that they had built, the original home, right? So kind of comes ready-made for, this is now Dolores. So
yeah.
It's going to take a while to get used to that. This is to take over the world from a villain base. She comes ready equipped with a villain hideout.
And we know this is not in a digital, this is not the training zone because we don't have the letterbox. Right. It wouldn't make any sense. Her whole thing was she wanted to take over the real world. She wanted to exist in the real world, and that's what they're doing.
Yes, but she comes here, and there's some facilities
He's got his own 3D printer.
Yeah, I got the milk printer.
Which is how she would be able to recreate other bodies.
Yeah. And this is way better than Postmates. She just prints up a burger, and has a meal. So there he is. So Jeffrey Wright had to show.
So we know that she prints out Jeffrey Wright. So that's one person.
Right here.
Yeah. So that could possibly be one of the control units that she had. Maybe it was his.
Yeah. So poor guy couldn't get through the whole season without having to be a naked guy sitting there, and that sucks. So yeah, he tried to kill all of them.
But then maybe again it wasn't, because she said I had to recreate you again from memory. So maybe it wasn't.
I don't know. I'm just trying to get to the end. I'd like to figure it out, but it'll take both of us if we're going to survive. So is this this is in the basement of that area, of that thing. So he's rebuilt. She's back, right? Or is he imagining this?
I think that he's seen her as that because they need her to be on camera.
You're saying this is Charlotte?
I think it is. That's the impression I was getting. But let's keep going, because I think it does kind of
I think
answer itself.
A bit of an answer there. So, but she's talking about how like they basically need each other.
They need each other, but they eventually kill each other.
I took it as she's saying, I need you to push me because I won't succeed unless I have you threatening me. That's how I read it. Yeah. Like Ryan Lochte and Michael Phelps. Ryan Lochte beat every world record except Michael Phelps was just ahead of him by half a body. Yeah. Like that's crazy. So there's Charlotte and
well, is that Charlotte back there? Because originally when I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's a reflection, so it's showing it's really Charlotte. But
I think she's in
but she actually goes out the door and walks past her, so we know that it is Charlotte out there.
Yeah.
Now, is that Charlotte recreated from memory, or is that Dolores still in Charlotte Hill's body, and this is the second Dolores they printed out?
That's what I'm saying. I think this is the second Dolores that Charlotte printed when she got to the place. But she would have had to have duplicated her soul ball because her soul ball was inside Charlotte, I think.
Do you think she would want to be transferred back into her original body?
Well, you would think so, but now she's got a Charlotte robot that she's got to do something with, or keep two Doloreses around, and that might be useful.
It's like having two cars. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like with two. Except one thinks it's both of the same software, but they're separate bodies. But they're both pretty good bodies. All right, I'm getting creepy. Speaking of good bodies, Jeffrey Wright is looking at this thing. There's these weird things under here, which are like screws or something. I don't know. It was oddly under the table. I thought that shot was. But he's ready to get dressed, and he's got his glasses. There he goes. He goes up the steps. So we learn that this is in the basement of this area. Got a bit of a work table thing there, some horses and stuff. Always looking for horses in the show. There's a book open. I bet you there's some significance to the book. Plus the photo of him and his son, Charlotte Hale, corporate overlord.
So this is kind of confirmation that they are actually in his real world house. This is Arnold's house.
Yeah, this would be an original. So with his son, and then so that's photo, and this actually disproves my stupid theory because it's probably real that he had a real boy. Yeah. So all right, so then he walks out, and there's music playing. It's kind of interesting when shows like this move away from the orchestral score into like a more type of real song. I get real, that's not the right word.
Dolores, we need a gardener.
Yeah.
This is out of control.
Oh, I thought you were going to call somebody. Jesus, I got frogs jumping in my back.
The Bengal tiger jumps on him.
Yeah. An anaconda just comes out and just starts eating his balls. Well, that's not... so they do that during the process. But, okay, so we gave each other such a beautiful gift. But he's leaving the place here. This is Bernard, and he's out in the world.
And this is another metaphor of the door. The whole season, he opens the door and he steps out and across the threshold into the real world.
Yep, exactly.
Journey complete.
So Bernard is now been reprinted. This is what I was saying, is that we have a Bernard and we have a Dolores in this building.
Yeah.
So two of those balls, one was Bernard, one was Dolores.
Yeah. So the two questions I'm hoping people in the comments can clear up for me before we cut this off, because I really got to get to bed, is number one, what ultimately happens to Bernard? Why did Dolores need to recreate him? What was the final time that we would see him in a chronological sense? Was he detained? Was he killed? Am I completely forgetting something obvious? Or did he simply sit down on the shore and let the ocean take him away?
Yeah, I don't know.
The second one is what was the deal with the data transfer? After all the hosts kind of went over into the other world in the Valley Beyond, and then Strand tried to use the control unit decryption key to access the data, it said like data overflow or data limit exceeded. It was in those exobytes. Yeah. What were we trying? What was that supposed to show? What were they trying to do? Were they trying to transfer the data out? Then they realized that so many hosts had joined the world that the data transfer was too large to be completed, and that was one way that Bernard was able to indirectly stop them from copying the data and sending it outside of the park. Yeah. Those are all great questions. Yeah. I don't know. I'm very curious. We got to go, but we don't have a lot of time. You enjoyed the season? Did it? Just 2 minutes on that? I enjoyed watching it, but I know we got to go, and I hope we can make another video on this later on when we both have more time. Yeah. But there's a lot of problems I have with this particular episode. It did not go the way I had hoped it would go, and it went in directions that I thought could have been much more interesting if it had gone in different directions. A lot, it just felt like so many stories ended in very unsatisfying ways. Yeah, it's almost like they were in a hurry. Like, I don't blame you for saying there might not be a season 3, because it's like, oh, kill Elsie, kill this guy, kill that guy, shoot that guy, turn Charlotte into Dolores. It felt very rushed. You're right. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit, but I absolutely think there'll be a season 3. I just assume. I just feel like I read that somewhere. I'd be shocked if they didn't continue this franchise. It's such a big deal. Yeah, I enjoyed this episode. The season had a mid-season lull. Generally, a couple episodes that weren't bad. But just I kind of lost my enthusiasm for it, but. I'd say they rallied. It overall was a pretty interesting show. Yeah. I do want to watch it again without doing the shot by shots. That kind of helps. It really changes the way you can ingest it, because I'm thinking about the screenshots. I'm thinking about editing and what I'm going to say. It's just a whole different experience. Yeah, and I'm definitely going to rewatch it again and immediately pick up on things I didn't pick up on the first watching, and just hate myself for not seeing it. Like, I'd like to watch it and see if it's as good as Star Trek Voyager. Yeah. So the Weather Channel's just as good as Star Trek Voyager. Come on, Janeway's the best. There's coffee in that nebula. Kiss my Janeway booty open. I like it. They got to get home. 70 years, man. It's a Delta Quantum. All right. Well, all right. So goodbye, everybody. Thank you, James. I love you. Thank you, everybody. Twitter, Facebook, Twitter, Poning. I don't know. Patreon, not Poning. That's not Poning. PWN. Is that word in? Yeah. Okay. I think the kids left that one behind about 10 years ago. Well, that's why it's still in my brain. Goodbye, everybody. I love you. We'll do another video. We'll get into a little bit more stuff later, but we love you and thank you. And James, I'm so sorry to keep you up. I'm trying to talk fast. Goodbye. Go to bed. Goodbye. Bye.